doing live. We're doing it live. Everybody stay calm. Right, let's just check how this is looking on the YouTubies. Am I live on the YouTubies? I don't know. I should be live, right? Yes, no, yes. I have to edit. Oh god, I should have done this before I started the thing. But I didn't. Do you know what? I didn't. Mario DK, can you hear me? Welcome. How do I check to see if my thing's live on here? Not that one. Oh, this. Right, I'll just have to check this. Okay, I'm live. My audio is kind of low, so I need to sort that out. Okay, I turned up my gain because when I listened back to like the last show, for example, my audio sounded low. So I've tried to improve it. Let me have a look on the thing. Is it a little better now? I'm gonna hit red bars. Also, I don't want to be like super low. Okay, let me just let everyone know on Discord that we're live whilst we just get started within 5 minutes. Hopefully 5 minutes. Let's try. That's the wrong chat. I hear you. Kike, why are you in that chat? I need to know. I need to know why you're there. Okay. Jago, come over to this show, please. I know you're out of work now, so I know. We're live on YouTube now with the live show. Because it's a live show. Okay, okay. Oh god, like I did. Oh god, I got the wrong thing saved to my thing. To the copy and paste. I need the quick link. I want a smiley face on that. Yes, I want to send it to 52 people. Everyone to L. Thank you everyone who came through to the pre-show. There was our biggest turnout yet, actually. So we had, how many people was in there? I think it was our biggest turnout yet, but I'm going to leave the pre-show room and go over to the on-air room. For anyone that wants to join to watch the pre-show, it's actually in our Discord server. The Discord link will be in the chat in a second. I think Streamlabs bot is going to show up and let us know about that. So thank you everyone who came out to the pre-show. I can't remember everyone's name, but Rolucci and Vinnie Mac, you're still in there. I'm heading over to the on-air room. Please come over to the main chat. I'll put the link here. Please come over. I'll see you there. Bye bye. Okay, I can hear you more clearly than last time. Yeah, I'm sorry the audio was so low last time. It's only when I listened to it back I realised it wasn't that great. So yeah, if there's any issues with the audio and anything, please let me know. And I'll do my best to fix it. I don't know how to do the audio sharing thing. For people to share the audio. Thank you. Everyone's coming through. Everyone's coming through. Awesome. We're gonna keep the Final Fantasy VII Lo-Fi, but where's the other one? Hang on. Where is it? The number one of this one. This is number 2. This is part 2. Do you want this music, or we don't have to have any music, by the way, but it's just like everyone said they wanted the music last time, and I felt the music was too. It's alright when the music's really low, but I felt like the music was way too loud last time. Let me just check my system settings a second. So is it on? Yes, he mic. Okay. Oh, why is this Discord so low? Google Chrome so low. Okay. Do you want the Final Fantasy VII Lo-Fi? Well, that's what I want. I don't. What am I asking you? I don't care. What I want. Wait, hang on. This is just playing any old nonsense. This is got anime music and all sorts of stuff in here. Hang on a second. Where's the? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, this is my favourite one. This is my favourite one. This one right here is my favourite one. Let's get started. It's my favourite one. It's the best one. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Here's a special guest. You, Vinnie Mac, you're the special guest. We don't have a special guest. You're all special guests. Anyone that comes on is a special guest. Okay. Just as the track doesn't overlap to your Mac's... yeah, I don't want the track to be too... At the moment it's loud because I like this track and we're starting. So let's get going! Let's get ready for the show! That's what we're doing. Vinnie Mac, why are you still in the pre-show room? You just leave. Leave the pre-show room. Okay. You don't have to, but I mean, I thought you might want to. Man, we're starting up now, and my goddamn share screen is not here. Share screen. 1 sec. Share screen will be there in 1 second. Okay, you can all see that now. Where's the chat? My chat box. It should be there. Why's the chat box? I don't know why the chat box doesn't display. Where chat box? I don't know. Discord, there's a Discord one. I guess I got set that. No, not that one. Yes, actually that one. No, wait, not that one. Don't worry, I'm gonna turn down that music. Hang on. Oh, it's this one. But we're not. Can you see that? Oh no, the thing is working now. What on earth? I don't know why, but that's not working. Or maybe we can't display Discord this week. I don't know. It's been weird. It's been like really weird. So we're gonna have like Final Fantasy 7 Lo-Fi, but it's going to be low. Okay. Welcome everybody to another Game Corner Shop Live. I guess that's what we're calling it now. As I said, thank you for everyone that came out to the pre-show. It's like, I feel like it's our biggest turnout yet. As long as everyone can hear me okay, we will begin. Don't forget, please hit the like button. It helps out very much. We did have, I felt like pretty good viewership for such a, tiny little channel with a long format audio podcast. So that's pretty good. If you hit the like button, it will help us even more. So thank you very much, everybody. And today we have some good topics. If you've seen the thumbnail, then you know basically that this game, a new 1-2 Switch game, was announced by Nintendo, and I couldn't help but rip on it, obviously. So that's why the thumbnail. Thank you Streamlabs for letting me take that thumbnail. That's what you'll see. Rolucci and Vinnie Mac are still in the pre-show room. You can leave the pre-show room and just watch the YouTube channel. So hello Mario DK. Morning, evening, love it. It's, I guess it's almost the evening here. It's 5:45 in the UK. Hi Dank, thanks for modding Dank. Hi Vinnie Mac, and hello Streamlabs bot showed up. All hail horse. Yeah, horse. So Kika gave me the idea to put like horse's Nintendo canon in the on the thumbnail. Oh, and hello Mousy. Yes, Mousy, of course, always here. Mousy's pretty much always here, yeah. So we got that to talk about, and there I realised we didn't go through the top 1,000. The thumbnail. I know. Yes, the thumbnail. We didn't go through the Media Crate Top 1000 for 2022 last week. I think either it wasn't out or I just didn't get around to it. And then also we have the Famitsu's own data for 2022. We have their summary, so we can look at that and we can compare it with the Media Crate data. So we have that, and then yes, the game we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about a studio that shut down recently that used to work on Nintendo games, which is, I think, like, is terrible, because I feel like they're independent studios, but they work pretty much exclusively for Nintendo. So that was like this one, Vanpool. There was Alpha Dream. There was a one that made Chibi Robo. I think it's called Chip. Was it Chip or what was it? I don't know what it was called now. But yeah, that one. So I don't know. So we can go into that, and then also we can talk about whatever anyone here wants to talk about. Everyone always has so many things to talk about, and then we need to talk about the weekly Square Enix L. What is the Square Enix L this week? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a surprise. But definitely, I feel like now it is June. And Square Enix said they was going to appoint the new president in May. So they would have already had their meeting and already did that. So we are now in the reign of Airbus Kiryu-san, as far as I'm concerned. They haven't announced it, but that is what is going on, I believe. So if the music is okay and my audio is okay, let's get started on some of these topics. We're going to close a few things down. Hang on. Open this one. I don't need to have all these things open, so we can close down some of this. That one I need. That one close. That one also close. And Twitter. We need Twitter. Yeah, what is this? Gamatsu. So, we're going to start as always with the weekly Famitsu sales. And again, interesting as always. But the same topic has reared its head, okay? And that is the topic of what on earth is going on with PlayStation in Japan. And I think it's like a free full sales collapse is what we're witnessing. And I think there's multiple contributing factors to that, which I have discussed. But, you know, I get questions tweeted to me, like, you know, all the time, asking various things about this topic and other sales topics. So I thought we would look at those as well for this show and maybe answer those, because I feel like I can't answer them all in detail, right? It takes so long. They're like, oh, why is this happening? Well, I'm like, oh, okay, I want to do it, but you're restricted on Twitter with the character limit and everything, and it just takes so long to make, you know, a detailed thing, a big long tweet thread. So I feel like we can talk about that instead. So that's what we're going to do. But what I want to do first is come here and pop out this chat. Pop out the chat. Where's the thing to pop it out? Pop it out so I can see what's going on. Now, Mario DK. Mario DK says, I think it's fair to say at this point that PS5 is a flop in Japan. Mario DK, if you are able to come on this show, I'd love to have you on to talk about this subject. I think there's some... I don't know if you've noted this, Mario DK, on the install-based forums. I have not had a chance to do much response this week for... I did type a few comments earlier, but I haven't put responses to them. I've noticed the goalposts have moved. I don't know about you, but the goalposts have moved for some people. I feel like people are like, oh, we need to wait for Final Fantasy 16. That's going to tell us Final Fantasy 16 and then Street Fighter. But now it's moved to, now we need to wait for the next Monster Hunter and Dragon Quest. Neither of which are anywhere are going to be anytime soon. Okay. Next Monster Hunter hasn't been announced yet, of course. The Dragon Quest has, but we don't know about that. And like, listen, oh, we need to wait for Kingdom Hearts and that. Like, really? Like, that's gonna... That's like, what? What do you consider a flop? Let's talk about what's considered a flop. If any of you are able to come on the show to talk about that, we can discuss what you mean by a flop, or, you know, what would not be a flop, for example. You know, if you want to come on and discuss that, because I can tell you my ideas, but obviously you have your own ideas, and I don't think we consider, let's put it this way, it's not a success. I don't think you can call one PlayStation 4 game in the chart in the third year of the PlayStation 5's life a success. That's what I would say, to be honest with you, Vinnie Mac. So let's begin with the Famitsu chart and really like delve into this. Let's delve into you want to talk about it. Let's delve into it and see what's going on. And you know, can some of these tentpole releases raise up the sales of everything else? Because this week, we do have Tears of the Kingdom still number one, but the game at the bottom of the top 30 is sold like a fat like 1,200 or something. So that's the barrier of entry to get in. It's that low. And you're talking about in the whole of Japan in an entire week, not even a 1,000, 1,300 PS5 games sold. I mean, to me, that is a flop situation. That's like, do you know what I mean? We're talking about way worse than the Wii U, way worse than the PlayStation Vita, way worse than the PlayStation 3. It's bad. It's bad. So we do have some data to go into that. We do have some data via install base, so we're going to look at that and go over that. And I know it's like This topic comes up all the time because every week we get these things and people are like, what? Well, there's no PlayStation games. What's going on? What's going on? So yeah, I mean, this has been like 3 years of this at this point, right? So it's worth talking about. And I'm going to quickly go through the chart and then I'm going to open up the phone lines, okay? And then you can hop in. Sorry, I just had to grab a drink. When you come in, you won't be able to hear the lo-fi in the Discord because I have not figured out how to make there is a way to do it. I just haven't. I've got the software, but it's like a big learning curve. I haven't figured it out yet, so you won't be able to hear it, but you will be able to. Everyone listen to the stream. You'll be able to hear the lo-fi. Hopefully, it's not too loud. I need to check. Let me just listen to the stream back for a sec. Hang on. I'm live. I'll check to see if my thing's live on. It sounds low to me, so I'm just gonna raise things up in Streamlabs, I guess. What's happening? Oh, you're talking to Joe too. It sounds a little low to me. Like my voice sounds low, although I'm here. I'm like yellow bars right now, so it shouldn't be like too crazy low. I can turn up the. When I turn up the gain, like. And I'm hitting red bars now. When I turn up the gain, like you'll get my washing machine's going. So, like you might hear that. That's the only thing. You might hear my washing machine. So I think it's gone. Maybe the spin cycle's done. But I can I'll have to maybe shut the kitchen door. You might be able to hear my washing machine. You might hear the old ice cream van. You might hear. No, the kids are out of school now, so you won't hear the kids. Special guest washing machine! Yeah. Oh my god, my audio's too loud now, isn't it? Let me know how that sounds. I did raise up my gain to do that, but let's talk about this Famitsu. The Famitsu sales, the weekly sales. Should we do Yoli translate? Bam. Okay. So this week, still at number 1 is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now what's interesting about this, and because I'm a dummy, I do not have the thing prepared, so give me a second. What's interesting about this is that the second week drop was very soft, extremely soft. Oh, sorry, the third week. This was the third week now. So it was minus 40%. Minus 40%. Let me close these other things. I can close them down now. Because I did save them. I need that one open. So this is the whole idea of having these bookmarks, is so I don't have to have all these tabs open. But do I remember to do it every week? I do not. I do not remember to do it every week. So anyway, let's look at this first. Everyone see this okay? So yeah, so when the weekly Comeg sales comes in, so that's the actual sales, not the pre-orders, but the actual Comeg sales chart, which for those that don't know, Comeg, listen, I know it's not called I'm gonna get into this again. Like the actual, they're not called. I'm calling it Comeg, okay? Just because I am. I want to. But the Comeg chart, if we look at niche barrier, Wait, look at, so when it came in last week, so here's the Comic top 20 sales. The Comic top 20. This, we normally get this on like a Monday in Japan, so it's like Sunday night here. I think it comes in at Sunday night for me anyway. Sunday night for me. This worked out to be like a 40%, like 50%, which I was like, what, 50%? It's only 50%. That's how it worked out. I don't know if we can see that on here. Did it say the percentage? Oh no, that's pre-order sales. Oh no, I thought for some reason I thought it had the percentages on here. Well, it doesn't, but if you worked it out, that's what it was. So that seems like an extremely mild drop. But then when the Famitsu sales came through, it was even more mild than that, so a 40% drop. It's very good. Basically means that our third week of Tears of the Kingdom is 148,000. And the total already is 1.5 thousand. Now bear in mind, the lifetime for Breath of the Wild right here, which is also in the chart, is 2.1 million. You might be able to hear the washing machine right now. Can you let me know if you're able to hear it? If it's annoying, I'm gonna go and shut that kitchen door. Can you hear it, DK? Mario DK? If you can hear it, then I'll shut the door, because I can hear it. If I know I can hear it, that means you can hear it. So yeah, I thought that's pretty good. Now we did have there's a few new releases this week. Most of them didn't make the top 10 because they're very smaller releases, like kind of niche games, right? But one did make the top 10. Let me talk about that now. Usual suspect here, Mario Kart 8, and number 2 sold 8.3 thousand. So here's our new release. This is Buster Fellows Season 2. This sold 7.5 thousand. Now, I did look this up. I did see what the first game sold. This is an Otome game. I have it on here. It's an Otome game, which is a niche but thriving market in Japan. I think is the way you could describe it. Let's see. I'm gonna put it on here. Okay, so the first game lifetime sold 17.3k lifetime. So you can see it's very niche. This is very niche. But for this game, that seems if the first game sold that lifetime, then opening was 7.5k. It seems good to me. I don't know about anyone else, but that seems pretty good. Because that means, is it possible that this game could sell the second one could sell another 10k like in its lifetime? Yeah, it's possible. I think it's possible. They could sell another 10k and at least match the first game, which is good. But obviously, often with sequels, you'll get like less sales in the first game. But so I think this one's decent. I'm guessing you can all hear the washing machine. Hi Rose, welcome. You can't hear it? It's like the battle music, right? Can you hear it? Can you hear the lo-fi? Can you hear this? I've got it on very low, so I didn't want to have it. You don't what? You don't hear the washing machine? If you really can't hear the washing machine, it's kind of, because I can hear it, it's kind of loud. Can't hear the washing machine? Okay. If you can't hear the washing machine, then I guess it's fine. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good opening for this sort of game. Now, also the other thing is that it completely sold through. You can see here, this is 80% plus sell through. So that means that all the people that wanted this game, they went out straight away and got it. There's probably you know, pre-ordering it as well and everything. So to me, that seems excellent for this style of game. Number 4, we have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That sold 6.3 thousand. Minecraft, number 5, 5.3 thousand. Number 6 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with 5,000. Number 7, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 4.9 thousand. Number 8, Splatoon 3, 4.8 thousand. Number 9, Kirby, what's the English name? Well, whatever. Kirby of the Stars Wii Deluxe. Kirby of the Stars Wii Port, that's what it's called. And number 9, 4.4 thousand. Number 10 is Nintendo Switch Sports with 3.3 thousand. Now, let's get into the rest of this chart. So there were some other... You know what? The washing machine's annoying me, so I'm going to go... Oh my god, I loved it. After this tune, I'll go. I love this one. This is the best one. This is the best one in this whole goddamn thing. That's why when you look on here, there's like a big old spike at this bit. Because people keep rewinding. This is most replayed. This is the best one. This is the best track. This track's a banger. This is the best one. Is that loud? I don't know. Here goes. How is it Kirby hate? No. Everyone thinks I hate Kirby. It's not Kirby hate. I'm just pointing out. I couldn't remember the name. I couldn't remember the name. What do you want me to do? I can't remember everything. The website confuses me with the translation. I can't remember. You stop it, Roach. How am I supposed to know? The music was low because I turned it down low deliberately, because when I listened back to the streams, I thought the music was too loud and intrusive. The whole point is that it's meant to be a very low background chill thing. It's not meant to like interfere. Apart from this track, this one's allowed to be loud. All the rest of them have to be low. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Okay, thank you. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That game. Let's turn this down again. I do love that track. It's my favourite one. I'm going to put that one on loop later. Now, that will annoy it. I know that will annoy it. It doesn't annoy me. Whatever. I just wish there was a longer version of it. Unfortunately, there isn't. So we're going to look at this. Like, what's interesting also, the Mega Man Battle Network Collection, English name, whatever. It's Rockman, whatever. I don't know why there's different names. I don't know. Anyway, it's back in the chart. So I feel like this got a restock. Was it in the chart last week? Oh, it wasn't this high, was it? 2.4 thousand? That's a lot. This game, I think, this definitely took Capcom by surprise, because they seemed like, oh my god! They were like, Nani? It sold to 1 million? What? They were like shocked. They were shocked, and they tweeted it out, right? They tweeted out that it sold over 1 million. They seemed like surprised, because Mega Man is not a huge seller, for anyone that doesn't know. It's not a big seller. So the top selling like Mega Man game, like the mainline ones, it's actually Mega Man 11, the last one, which you'd think it'd be like the older ones. But Mega Man 11, I think they cheaped. I'm gonna be honest. I think Capcom cheaped out on it. They decided to go with like, instead of like the pixel art of like pretty much every other Mega Man game, they went with this like a Unreal Engine 4 like kind of 3D models, but it kind of looked, I don't know, it looked a bit like, it was 3D, but it kind of looked like almost like flash art to me, and I think that they kind of cheaped out on it, because they actually said like, I'm pretty sure I remember them saying at the time that they didn't use the pixel ones because even though you'd think it would be, it's like way more expensive to do that, to make all those pixel, it's really time consuming to make all of those sprites. It's basically what they were saying. I'm sure I remember them saying something like that. That it's like way cheaper and everything just to go with the modern 3D models, and that's what they did. So I think they cheaped out for it. If they made like a more high quality Mega Man, you know, put a little bit more money into it, they might get more of it out. Like, do what they've done with the other franchises, basically. So here's like another of our new releases. So this is another Otome game. This is a Princess Arthur for Nintendo Switch. Idea Factory game. This one, I don't know what this is. It's Akaito and Alshiro HD Remaster Special Edition. I have no idea. What is this a visual novel? This sold 2,000 and it's sold out. Whereas Princess Arthur, there's still a bit left, but this one almost gone. Which means it sold about what they thought it was gonna sell, or the public. Holy crap! Look at the price. I'm trying not to swear. It's 11,000. It's 11,800 yen. What? What? That's like well over $100 by the way. That's over $100, right? Holy. Trying not to swear. It's 11,000. So this is 2 games together. I guess it's 2 games. But even still, that is a big ask for that price. Good lord, that's expensive. Okay, that is really expensive. So another new release. This is Dranius. Now I think I'm only just looking at the art and I'm feeling like it's a shoot 'em up, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's not a shoot 'em up. Does anyone know what this is? Yes! Hi Game Killer, welcome! Game Killer says, I want to try Nintendo Switch Sports, but I doubt I'll spend more than $20 for it. Oof. Too many great games this year. Yeah, there's a lot of great games. Yes, the Final Fantasy VII fanfare music is top tier. It is. Oh, Mousy with the numbers. Mousy, thank you. Oh god, where did she type that? I don't even know where it is. Okay, Mousy says 1,100 yen equals $79. But you didn't add on the 800. It needs the 800 as well, which would probably bring it up to about $80. Yeah, the yen's pretty weak, so it's weak against the dollar, so that's why it's like that. That's 79. I mean, that's expensive, man. So like $80 game. I know it's 2 games, but well, I'm guessing it's 2. It seems like it's 2 games together. Now this next game, Dranius, I don't know what that is. I'm guessing this is a shoot 'em up. I'm guessing the genre of the game, looking at the picture. It looks like a shoot 'em up. Let's see if I'm right. Anyone know what that is, Dranius? And so that one sold 1.9 thousand, number 20. It's number 20, yeah. Number 21 here. Another new game. Ao no Kanata no 4 Rhythm Extra 1 plus 2 S. I have no idea what that is. By Sprite. Who is Sprite? I don't even know that publisher. Who is that? I don't even know who is that? That sold 1.9 thousand. I have no idea what this game is. I don't know. I'm guessing it's a rhythm game because it says Rhythm Extra in there. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. And another new. As I said, there were several new entries, but they were just all low in the charts. So another new entry, number 23. This is Puzzle Bubble Every Bubble. This is a bubble game. It sold 1.7 thousand. Sell through is okay. This is Taito, but do not be fooled. Taito is just Square Enix in disguise. So if you see Taito, it's Square Enix because they own Taito. So this is Square Enix in disguise. But yeah, what 1.7? I guess you couldn't expect much more from a bubble game. To be honest with you, they're not big sellers, are they? Leave my bubble. Good lord, why? I'm not going after bubble. I'm just saying it's Square Enix in disguise, which it is. So wow, am I not saying anything that's not true? It is Square Enix in disguise. Don't even try it. If a Taito game flops, that's a Square Enix L. Stop trying to bubble. It's the thing where you shoot. It's like you got to shoot out like a. I'm sure I've played this where you got to shoot out like a little marble or something to match up colours. Isn't that what it is? Yes. So that was another new release here. Again, I don't think they expected this to be a big seller. It's mainly an arcade game. Yeah, I'm sure. I've played this. There wasn't there one on the Dreamcast or something with marbles. Yeah. I've played these before. Like they pretty much release them on different platforms, right? All different platforms. I don't know if the one I played. What was that game on the Dreamcast? I don't know if it was a bubble game. Maybe it was something else, but it was very similar. And that's. Oh no, it's another one here. Sorry. This is another new release. This Oh, Buster. Yes, that's what it's called. Yes, Buster Move. That's what it's called. Yeah, Buster Move. So yeah, that's what it was called here. Buster Move. Yeah, no, there was a Buster Move on the Dreamcast. Am I going crazy? I'm pretty sure there was a Buster Move on the Dreamcast. I'm not playing it. We had a Dreamcast in my local youth centre. No, Buster Move game, not that. Game. Dreamcast? Yes, there was one. Buster Move 4 on the Dreamcast. I was right. Oh my god, this is old school IGN. Yeah, this is what I played on the Dreamcast. Where's this? Yeah, I love this game. No, yeah, I've played it, yeah. So they changed the name from Buster Move to Bubble. Yeah, okay, this definitely this then. So I didn't have my own Dreamcast, but my local youth centre at the time had a Dreamcast, so I would go there every week and play the Dreamcast in the local youth centre. Thanks, Mousy. Yeah, I love Buster Move. So the other new game was this Batsugan Saturn Tribute Boosted. Now, again, going by the picture, I'm gonna guess this is a shoot 'em up. I have no idea. Okay, so the Western name is Bubble Bubble is the Japanese name. Buster Move is the Western name. Oh, I see. Okay, so I definitely know what Buster Move is then. Yeah, I've played that loads. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I first remember playing it on the Dreamcast. But yeah, it was on the Dreamcast. Because I thought, I might imagine that was there a Dreamcast version, but there was, yeah. Right. I'm guessing this is a shoot 'em up. I'm guessing the genre based on the picture and the name. It looks. This got to be a shoot 'em up, right? Can I look this up? Oh my god, I hate that you can't highlight on this thing. It's like a. Oh god, it's so annoying. You can't just like copy. Hang on. Shall we see what it is? Unfortunately, it's put that nonsense on there. Let's get that off. Oh, hang on. This has got to be a shoot 'em up. Yes, I was right! I was right! It's a vertical shoot 'em up.
Vital parts of the game.
Oh, bullet hell, whatever you call it. That's exactly what I thought it was when I saw the picture. I said, doesn't that look like that's what that is based on the picture? But I'm not looking them all up, but yeah. So there was like several new releases, but they were all like small releases. Clubhouse games. Oh, sorry, there was some other Johannes Castanedus. Sorry, I'm trouble pronouncing your name. Johannes, is that your name? Hi, welcome. Welcome. Clubhouse games. Vinimax says now the Square Enix hate. all I'm saying is I'm just pointing out that Taito is Square Enix. So if Taito makes an L, it's a Square Enix L. We need this information because we need to be able to catalogue their L's. How can we do that if you're trying to act like Taito is like some separate company? No, it's not. It's Square Enix. Just don't even try it. Finny Max says, don't let Square Enix make a Kirby game. To my knowledge, they've never made a Kirby game. They've made other games, Nintendo games, but they haven't made a Kirby game. To my knowledge. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. I don't feel like they have made any Kirby games. They made some others, but not Kirby. Don't let them make a Kirby game. I think that's a double whammy. No, like the thing is with Kirby game, I told you that it's not a bad thing. I told you that Kirby Wii Deluxe is the gold standard of whether a game is successful in Japan, in my opinion. Like a big game. I don't mean like a small, like, you know, like little shoot 'em ups we've seen. Relative to what the expectations were for those games, those are fine. I'm talking about like a big release. I feel like if a big release cannot outsell Kirby Wii Deluxe or Kirby Return to Dreamland, which is here, then that is an L. That's not like this game. You should be able to outsell this game. 189,000 first week, right? Is what this got. The reason why I point out this particular game is I feel like it's a good example. It's not a new game. It's a re-release of a Wii game. So you're talking like 2 generations ago. I think the first game it's maybe like 10 years old or something like that, around that, or maybe just over 10 years. It's not a new game. Kirby is fairly popular. Kirby merchandise is extremely popular in Japan. Now, the games don't sell as well as the merchandise would make you think. So Kirby's not like, it's not going to sell like a Mario, it's not going to sell like a Zelda. It doesn't sell as well, but yet, even with all of that, this game still sold 189,000 first week. So obviously it didn't sell as well as like the brand new game recently, which is Forgotten Land, but it sold well. So like I feel like if you cannot outsell this game, then that's an L. We discussed this before on the show. If Final Fantasy 16 can't outsell this, then that's a flop. If it can't sell that, it's a flop in Japan. Now, will it outsell that? At first, I thought it was a lock, and now I'm not so sure. I feel fairly certain to say that Final Fantasy 16 is not going to be able to sell over 300,000 first week in Japan. I feel like that's about where it is now, honestly. Poor Kirby. I'm bigging up, like, I don't understand this. I'm literally bigging up Kirby, and I said, this is the gold standard. If you cannot pass this game, that is an L. Being used, not just Square Enix, any goddamn game, like a bigger release. I'm talking like a big release. Cloud might eat him. Cloud Strife. What? Wouldn't it be the opposite? Kirby would eat Cloud Strife? I don't know what's happening here. In fact, if you play Super Smash Brothers, he can eat Cloud Strife, and he gets the anime hair and everything. If you play, he can eat him on Super Smash Brothers. Anyway, we're not talking about fictional characters eating each other. Good lord. What's happening? So I feel like you need to be able to pass this game. That's my opinion. Now, Paul Kobe, you put Copa Kobe. Like, I don't know what's. Maybe you're trying to type in a hurry and you're on your mobile mousey. Are you at work? Are you at work? Uploaded image GIF. I don't know what you're not. Oh my god, keep hating. I don't hate Kirby though, that's the thing. That's so wild. Everyone thinks I hate Kirby just because I keep bringing up this game. Like, because I feel like this particular game is just such a good example of what I'm trying to say. Like this particular, I can't think of any other game that illustrates what I'm saying as well as that game. It's like the best one. So I'm not putting it up against like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or something like that, because that wouldn't be fair. That's why I'm saying, look, where's the other Kirby game? What was it called again? Forgotten Land. Right, so Kirby and Forgotten Land. Look, that was 380,000 first week. I'm not, like, it's not really, look, not many games are going to launch at that amount, right? Now, here's the thing. Here's a question for you all. Do you think Final Fantasy 16 will launch higher than this? Can it match or exceed Kirby and the Forgotten Land? No. What do you all think? So I said Kirby Wii Deluxe is like the, in my opinion, I'm calling it the gold standard. I don't know about anyone else, that's what I'm calling it. But do you think it can match? Just let me know in the chat. Can Final Fantasy 16 sell 380,000 first week? Bearing in mind that I'm counting bundles as well. Yes, everything will be together, including the bundles. Yes, because the bundles will be all just counted together, and when we get the chart, it will just be in there. Yes, I'm including the games from the bundle. Yes. So yeah, let me know in the chat what you think. But like I said, Kirby Wii Deluxe is the gold standard. I think it's the gold. I'm calling it the gold standard. Return to Dreamland. Yeah, this one. You have to be able to pass this game. If you're super popular in Japan, you got to be able to pass that game. If you can't, then I'm talking about, I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about like, you know, AA games or like, you know, something like, you know, Buster Fellows Season 2 is not going to pass Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I'm talking about a big release. You know, like Final Fantasy 16. Has to be able to pass that. Otherwise it's an L. It's like literally, Final Fantasy 16 cannot outsell Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That is an automatic L. Stamped, sealed and delivered. L. Alright? That's what I'm saying. How long till Square sells off Taito? Never. I think Taito does fairly well. I mean, they make a whole load of arcade games. It's mainly arcade games they make, right? And I think they do fairly well from that. Or why would they sell off Taito? I'm at work, so I'll be in the chat. Oh, you can't come on the show. What is a good time for me to do my show so some more people can come on? Let me know. The only thing is I just don't like starting the show like for my own self, to start it really late, because for those that don't know, I have a long running Dungeons and Dragons game every Saturday. It is streamed on Twitch. I do tweet out about it every week. I don't know if anyone comes to watch it, but I tweet that I'm doing that. But yeah, I have to get up to play that game and obviously do other stuff in the morning. So I have to make. Oh my god, let's go. Let's go. I'm sorry, this is Trucker Story. This and that. Where's the other version of this? The thingy, the thingy one. The loop. Where's the loopy one? Where is it? Hang on, no, I'll find it. I'll find it. Okay. Final Fantasy 7. What's it called again? Fanfare. Fanfare Lo-Fi. No. Where's the other where's the thingy? This one. Like somebody made this. There's no like just long version of it, but there's this. Wait, it's getting looped. It's gonna get looped. It's too late. You can't stop me now. It's getting looped. This is my show. They also make Groove Coaster. What's Groove Coaster? Mousy says in the Discord chat, Taito also makes Groove Coaster. Is that like a groovy roller coaster? Or something? What is that? Groove Coaster. So now you all reminded me, we're getting the goddamn Final Fantasy goddamn fanfare on loop. It's on loop now. You can't stop me. Okay, so we're gonna stop talking about goddamn Kirby. Where's the thing? Okay, so we need to talk. We need to talk about PlayStation 5 in Japan. Now, I will turn this down because I know you're all gonna get annoyed. It's too loud. We're going to talk about this and what is going on. I can't answer what's going on. I don't have all the answers. I can only tell you some facts and figures, and then we can think about what's going on. But first of all, let's get into the hardware this week. Now, I tweeted out the hardware was amazing this week because it's almost identical to what sold last week, which is rare. That doesn't happen very often. So my summary was most systems in their 7th year have dropped off by now, except the PlayStation 2 that was a monster, but Switch sells another 86k this week. PlayStation 5 rises a little week over week, but once again no software in the top 10s. Now at that time when I tweeted that, we had the top 10 but we didn't yet have the top 30 because that comes like, I think it's like 10 to 12 hours later. It's like half a day later it comes. So let's look at this anyway. So I screenshotted this from Installbase. Thank you Installbase for summarising for me. So I don't have to do this because they just do it all over there. It's fantastic work over on Installbase. Now, as I said this week, the Switch sold 86.5 thousand. The previous week it was 86.6 thousand. So it's basically almost the same. Now, at this same time week last year, it sold 60.8 thousand. So it's even stronger than last year. Although it's coming off the back of a big release, which at this time last year I don't believe there was. So that's the reason. The PlayStation 5... Oh no, wait, hang on. I need to talk about the OLEDs. Hang on. Let's talk about this. Sorry. I'm doing a breakdown. Okay, so OLED was like 69,000. So you can see here, it was 69.8 thousand this week. And then the previous week, it was 69.3 thousand. Almost exactly the same. The Switch Lite sold a bit more this week, 7,000. Last week, it was 5.8 thousand. The regular Switch, like the original type red box Switch, sold 9.6 thousand. Last week it was 11.4 thousand. So by far and away, the OLED is the best seller, which you'd think it probably wouldn't be that one because it's the most expensive. But I know people are going to get annoyed at this loop, but I'm not annoyed at it. That's the main thing. I'm not annoyed. I will change it because you're going to start moaning at me. So yeah. Now, if we look at the PlayStation 5, this week it sold 38,000. The previous week it was 37,000, right? So it's very, very close. Almost 1,000 difference. Or less than 1,000 difference. And then if we look at the breakdown, the PlayStation 5, so that's like the regular one that has a disc drive in it, right? 32.8 thousand. The previous week, 32.5 thousand. The digital edition, the one with no disc drive, 5,000. Previous week, 4.6 thousand. So we have 32.8 thousand, almost 32.9 thousand. So very close to 33,000. PlayStation 5 selling in Japan last week, and there's not a single PlayStation 5 game in the top 30, not even the top 10, the top 30. Now if we look at the bottom of the top 30, this was the barrier of entry to get in. 1,233. Now there's people saying that everyone in Japan is subscribed, they're buying PlayStation 5s, but they're subscribing to PS Plus to play the old games. There's all old games in PlayStation, but they have one or two that's like a, maybe a year old that they ripped apart or whatever. That doesn't make any sense, because that whole big collection of games is only in the higher tiers. So you have to be subscribed to either extra or premium to get that, not just regular PS Plus. Regular PS Plus, you just get your, there's a handful of, I think it's like 2 or 3 games per month, and you have to build that library by staying subscribed and claiming the games. Whereas the extra and premium, it's just whatever games they cycle in and out of the set collection of games. So the problem with that is, one, that service is available worldwide. Why is this only happening in Japan? That's the first thing right off the bat. Why would that only be happening in Japan? The other thing is, somebody, now I can't remember who this was, somebody on Installbase pointed this out, that when you look at the actual PlayStation Plus subscriptions, the percentage of people, this is just after the worldwide figure from Sony, the percentage of people subscribed to the higher tiers, the premium and extra tiers, is like 15% that subscribe to those higher tiers anyway. It just doesn't make sense that people would spend, like, what in Japan is like, isn't it like 60,000 yen? They put the price up of the PlayStation 5 to subscribe to a subscription service to play old games. And even if there was a higher rate of subscription in Japan, it still doesn't make sense that it has to be literally everybody doing that. Everybody that's buying it this week and everyone that bought all the as on paper, the PlayStation 5 has sold 3.6 million? Where's the thing now? What did it sell? It's almost 3.6 million. So 3.6 million, right? Of which the disc drive on paper, because some of these have been scalped and exported, right? On paper, there's 3 million PlayStation 5s in Japan. You're telling me that 3 million people are subscribed to PlayStation Plus Extra and not even 1,000 PlayStation 5 physical games can sell? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. You need to actually think about that. When people are saying that, I want them to actually think about what they're saying. When you look, it's not like, it's not even that the sales are low. You have a week where there's none at all. When that's all they had to sell to get in. 1.2, how could there not even be that amount? Now the game that did get in is, here. This is the PlayStation 4 version of Hogwarts Legacy, which released, how long ago did this release? Anyone know? Let me see. I can't remember. Wait. Let me look it up on here. Where is it? Oh no, that was last week. Is that last week? Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Okay, I'm gonna change this because people are gonna start moaning at me. Whatever. I like that truck. I don't care. I don't care what you say. You're not the boss of me. Okay. Oh god, there's a few comments. GameKiller64 says Square's waiting to. Okay, so this is what you think. Let's take this out. Square's waiting to see how Final Fantasy 16 sells to see when they should start promoting Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I still have doubts it will release in 2023. Okay, so you're probably referring to the tweet that Square Enix tweeted out on one of their official account for that game. So I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think they're waiting to see how it sells. Final Fantasy 16 will sell well. I don't think that's the case, Game Killer. I think it's to do with like getting that game finished. And they gave a release window of, when they said next winter, they mean obviously winter starts December 21st. So that'll be going into next year, into March next year. So the fact that they tweeted that out, to give an update, because they wanted to give an update. You know, I don't think it's to do with waiting to see how well 16 sells. It's not like, oh, well, if 16 doesn't sell well, then let's bring up the release date of that, because it won't be finished. It's like when it's finished, basically. That's what I think, Game Killer. Mario DK. Final Fantasy 16 launching on PlayStation 5 is an automatic L. Okay, well, that's interesting. Probably that's controversial opinion. For Square Enix, if they got a big enough compensatory bag, then it's not an L. If they got a very large bag from Sony, which I'm sure they did, then it's not an L, really, from a business perspective. But if you mean like sales, obviously, you know, a game that's launching only on PlayStation 5, it's not even launching on PC, right? So there's not going to be there will be a PC version eventually, but not at launch. So this music's too loud. So there'll be a PC version eventually, but not at launch. So obviously I feel like sales prospects, you're going to look at being a bit lower than 15 worldwide. So yes, but is it an L for Japan to have the game only on PlayStation 5? Yeah. When it comes to Japanese sales, then. But here's the thing: when Square Enix were in the early stages of developing this game, when they made the deal with Sony, obviously it was just before the PlayStation 5 released. I don't think in their wildest dreams they thought that the PlayStation 5 would perform that badly in Japan. I honestly, that's my honest thing. I just don't think they thought that was going to happen. It is really my opinion. And what happened? The sales, the PlayStation 4, we know that they, from, I believe what Yoshi says in the interview, that they started developing a PlayStation 4 version, and it seems like it got quite far into development, but ultimately they decided to drop that version because it would have added extra development time. So I think that when that started happening and they dropped it, that the sales of, you know, just PlayStation games had atrophied so badly in Japan. I think they were blindsided. I don't think they thought that was going to happen. I really do. So, oh wait, hang on. Give me a sec to catch up on these chats. Finny Max says, "Hold up, JCat. Are you saying that Final Fantasy 16 will underperform in Japan, then overperform in the West to balance the lack of sales in Japan?" I think that's what Square Enix hopes will happen. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen. I think the game, it depends. I'll say this: the previews were positive, but it depends like how this game is received and the word of mouth, because it's a departure from previous Final Fantasy games in quite a lot of different respects. The way they've made the game, like, I mean, they've described it as like Game of Thrones, right? So because they've changed so much, I honestly think about how it's received, what would be the sales. Now, I imagine the sales would be good. Will it balance out the lack of sales in Japan? It's possible, yes. It used to be in the past that quite a good chunk of sales of Final Fantasy games did come from Japan. Now the last one, I think, you know, we know that the 7 remake and 15 both sold over 1 million physical in Japan, which you have to add on digital to that, of course. I think they thought they would get similar sales to that. So if it's not going to be that, and you've got sales are going to be like more than, in my opinion, I think it's going to be over 50. It might be 50 to 75% lower than 7 remake and 15 in Japan. That's just my opinion. It's not like any facts or anything. How come the sales of 16 would be lower than the other games, than the previous games? Because of the state of PlayStation 5 in Japan, about the software sales being so low, and because the game seems to have much less appeal in Japan, and the pre-orders are very low. You know, even when we look, the pre-orders like on everything is low. The social engagement seems kind of low, because I have been looking, and this game, I first I thought it would be half the sales of Final Fantasy 7 Remake and 15, but I actually don't think it can even reach that high now, to be honest with you. We'll have to wait and see. You know, maybe there'll be a sudden surge near the end, but it's just like they've basically designed the game because they want it to appeal in the West, which I can understand. But you completely understand that from a business perspective and what they wanted to do. But I think, yes, it's going to affect the sales in Japan. I think what they probably imagined that the sales would go down a bit. I don't think they thought that the PlayStation 5 sales would just completely plummet, and PlayStation would be like at the most it's 15% of the market. It's probably dropped to like it's gonna be almost like 10%, basically. I don't think they thought that was gonna happen at all. But if anybody wants to jump into the waiting room, feel free. I think there's a time difference. Some of the people here are at work. Jago, I know, is not at work, because Jago is in the UK. Jago's tweeted out an interview. Is this what he's talking about? Yoshida Ochiai interview about Final Fantasy 16, worry about first week sales. Includes plans, longer term use of pre-rendered cutscenes and more. Where is this from? Yes, I'm in my bed. Well, Jago, hop into the waiting room, please. Jago is here. He's being very lazy. Lazy. Jago, if you are free, I would love to have you on the show. Translation done by somebody. It's a weekly show by Yoichi Ochiai. Okay. Is this it? General interview. Sales projection interview. I want to see that bit. Oh, this is interesting. Get rid of this. Okay. Weekly Ochiai's interview question with Naoki Yoshida regarding sales projection and simulation. Ooh. Okay, Jago's unable. No worries, Jago. It's fine. Jago lives in the same city as me. Jago says he's tired though, so he can't make it on today. It's fine. Okay. No, wait. Oh, God, what am I doing here? Oh man, there's a whole load of. Let me read your comments first, and then I'll read that thing. So Mario DK says, oh my God, sorry, my mouse is playing up. If voice chat portion could start a bit earlier, I could join for. So you wanted to start earlier? Oh my God, everyone else wanted to start later. So that's why I did the show. That's why I started moving the show later, because of people that couldn't. So you want it to be earlier? I could join for a bit, at least in the sales. Mario DK, tell you what, DM me with like the exact times that you are available in your time zone. Tell me what time zone you're in and times you're available, and then maybe for future shows I can work around that. So to let me know. Johanna says first week. I think they can. I'm looking at Final Fantasy 15 first week sales, and they did 690k plus units, but I don't remember how was the PS4 doing back then. Wahaha. Well, Johannes, we can find out exactly, and I can tell you what the sales were off the top of my head. It was the same. It was like 3.6 million. PlayStation 4s were around at that time, But yeah, we can, if you want to look it up. There was 3.6 million. Final Fantasy 15. This one. So first week was 316,000. It's on Xbox One, but listen, this is just statistical noise at this point. It only sold 3,000, so we're not going to look at that. But yeah, at the time, I think we can see when it released here. Where was the release? Did it release in December? Did it release December 4th? 2016? Was that a release week? Let's have a look. Yeah, this is when it released, look. So it released, yeah. Not December, so it released in November. 29th of November 2016. So 716,000 on the PlayStation 4, right? In 2016. Now if we scroll down, we can see the hardware at that time. Right here, the site's a bit weird, wonky, because I enlarged it, but let's make it smaller so we can see here. So at that time, lifetime to date, right? 3,640,602 PlayStation 5s. What's interesting is how many PlayStation 5s there are right now in Japan. Oh god, my mouse! Sorry, it's because it's a wireless mouse, it's like, oh, it's annoying. Right, so at the moment, PlayStation 5s, there's 3,587,662 PlayStation 5s in Japan. On paper, at least, because we don't know how many are actually there. I suspect it is lower than that figure. But, okay, let's just take on paper that how many that is. So, by the time Final Fantasy 16 releases, it will be over 3.6 million. It'll be way over that because we've got another 3 or 4 weeks sales plus the week of Final Fantasy 16, which we've got the bundle coming up, so that's going to boost sales. So it's going to be way over it'll be way over 3.6 million that the PlayStation 4 was at the time that Final Fantasy 15 released. So it's going to be literally the same, or more basically. So I hope that answers your question, Johannes. So if we have like the PlayStation 5 on paper having way more than the PlayStation 4, and then you need to account for a rise in the digital has risen since then, but digital is not 90%, okay? So people need to get this, even it's not 60%. People need to get that out of their mind. No, it's not. It's like it's maybe 20 to 30%, right? In Japan, it's not 50% digital. It's just a few games that we know that can reach that high. It's like mainly the Nintendo ones that are on that voucher scheme. Because of that voucher scheme, it's made the digital high on certain games that are expensive and in that thing. It's not even all Nintendo games. It's just certain games, right? The ones that are really expensive because the prices vary in Japan. So yeah, so let me know what you think about that, Johannes, about the hardware. Game Killer says, oh no, wait, what? I've lost the chat, hang on. Ugh. Sorry. Game Killer says, really interesting how much Sony pays for that exclusivity, because it feels like a net negative to be owning PS5 unless the performance is truly impressive. I guess you mean the sales performance? You mean the sales performance? Well, here's the thing. It can be a good deal to make a game exclusive. A big game like that that launched on all platforms could sell more at launch and so on, of course, but it can be beneficial to make a game. You think, well, why would you make a game exclusive? Why would Square Enix take that deal? There's probably given a big bag by Sony, and it can be beneficial in the sense that your game then gets even more marketing. It gets a spotlight. It gets like you know, preferential promotion. It's been in a number of state of plays. It's been in the recent showcase and stuff like that. So and it's beneficial for Sony, obviously, because they have a big game that's exclusive, that can draw even more people in. And again, they made a deal to have the game available bundled with the PlayStation 5 at launch as a digital code, which is not, that doesn't happen with many games, that you get a big game like that bundled at launch. It's not every game that happens with. So I don't think it's, if it was a net negative, they would not make deals like that. Game Killer, you need to think about it like that. If it was going to end up losing their money, they wouldn't do it. So obviously it doesn't lose their money, because it's not the first time deals like that have happened. It happened to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the last sales update we got for that was 5 million or just over 5 million or something like that. We have not had a sales update since then. Since the game originally released, it's been re-released on the PlayStation 5 with the Integrate edition. And it's been released on the Epic Games Store and Steam on PC. I think it's just those two stores. So I don't know what I think 5 million was the sales. So it just basically hasn't released on Xbox, but you know, pretty much everything else. So obviously not Switch, but okay. Jago says it was 5.5 million in August 2020. Thank you very much, Jago. So 5 point, it's over, but I mean that's years ago now. So obviously it's going to be past that, but because we haven't got a sales update, that's all we know, that it's above 5.5 million. But even with that information, so the public information we have is at 5.5 million for that game. Even with that information, we know Square Enix decided to make another deal to make 16, which is a brand new numbered entry. They decided to make that one exclusive. They did start developing it on the PlayStation 4, but you know, for the reasons I explained, they dropped that version and it's only on PlayStation 5. I think at the time when they made all those deals and that, it was first of all, it's pre-pandemic. No one knew that was going to happen. Right off the bat, nobody knew that was going to happen, and it was going to be the PlayStation 5 was going to be like supply constrained. And I do not think for 1 second that Square Enix thought that the sales of PlayStation games would atrophy as much as they have. I do not think that, and I think they don't think that. Why have, look, I said this before, why did they make the Special Edition DualSense controller and faceplates are only available in nowhere else in the world? Why did Square Enix do that? And I tell you, it was Square Enix. I think they could have been available worldwide, and I think that was Square Enix, because I think they wanted to boost the sales in Japan. Why only make that in Japan? You know, that's my opinion, though. So let's see other things. Game Killer continues, like with 13, it looks so much better than 13.2 and Lightning Returns on multi-platform. You mean the sales? I think. What does 13 sell? You mean worldwide? I'm not sure, Game Killer. Please clarify. Roche says maybe a high subscription so they can play Genshin. One does not need a subscription to play Genshin, so I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe it's a high subscription so they can play Genshin. Genshin Impact is free to play. You do not need a subscription to play that. Roche says Final Fantasy VII Part 2 needs to be an FPS so it can be successful in Japan. That would kill it. Game Killer says, I would like to see that, but lately some of these AAA have been releasing unfinished or poorly optimized. It seems some companies can't afford a year of polish like Zelda. Not all games can afford a year of polish, but I mean, you need to remember, even Zelda had issues. It was been patched since launch. Even that had issues, so it's not. I mean, no game comes out perfect, but yeah, I mean, the information we got about 16 was that it was finished and that they are just polishing now. That's a lot. We got that a while back, right? So they've been spending several months at least that we know of polishing. Johannes says, those Xbox One sales, skull emoji. Yeah, I know. Right, yeah, that's right, 3.6 million back then. So it's about the same. So we'll have to wait and see, because even considering that digital has risen, so we got say digital has risen. So say for example, you took back then, it might have been 10 to 15% digital, right? So you need to look at that and then say, right, for nowadays, you need to, let's add an extra 20%. So if you take 20% off of 700, what's 20% off of 700,000? Somebody please let me know. Take 20% off of that, then in theory, if that's what Final Fantasy 16 should sell, I do not think that's what it's going to sell at all. Johanna says, thank you for the answer. It was closer than I thought. Then I do think it can at least pass Kirby numbers you showed us. I don't know if they will reach Final Fantasy 15 numbers, though hopefully they can. So the Kirby numbers, I showed 2 different numbers. Do you remember which one you was thinking of? This one? This is the recent one. That's a re-release. And then the other one is, this one sold 189,000 first week. And then the other one, Forgotten Land, was 380,000 first week. So do you think it can surpass 380,000? Do you think it can surpass 189,000? Let me know. Kike saying no, it can't. It's not going to pass Kirby. Which one, Kike? Return to Dreamland or the other one? Jago, oh here we go. Jago's such a Kirby shill. That awesome remaster, that awesome new game. That's not a new game, Jago. How is, oh my god, I'm getting to that. They added one goddamn Magnalore level and he's calling it a new game. You see this? How's it new? Rose says, Kike, Rose, you're in 2 different chats, it's confusing me. Kike has the script, he knows Final Fantasy 16 is going to bomb. Kike says either. Oh no, Jago's typing in all caps now. Oh good lord. What do you mean to... Okay, I thought you was referring to, oh my god. Jago, I thought you was talking about the other game. I thought you was talking about Wii Deluxe. She still does not remember the name of the game. Do you know what, right, Roche? Vinnie Mac, it's because every time the name just throws me off, because when you hit the translate button on it tells you the literal translation of the Japanese title, so it throws me off and I'm like, oh, what is it called? Oh god, so you get in here and host then, Vinnie Mac. I said my PC was busy updating, that's why I was on YouTube chat. Okay, so why didn't you stay on YouTube chat then? I mean, you can be on this chat if you want. This is the chat that you can post memes on. Safe for work memes, please, Roche. Safe for work memes. You can post them here, and if you post anything good, I will show it on the stream. So let's move on, since nobody's hopping into the chat right now. And we've been going for an hour and a half. I don't hate Kirby. Oh my god. All of them think I hate Kirby. What, number 1, which I don't. I already said I 100%ed Forgotten Land. I literally 100%ed that game. And I said, hardly any games are 100%. I 100%ed it because I liked it that much. I really enjoyed it. I did like the super bosses and everything in that game. I leveled up all the, what do you call it? The different abilities, the copy abilities. I got all of the achievements in the game. I did everything. I haven't played this new one. This new one that's just come out. Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I haven't played that. But I bought it. I'm pretty sure I bought that. Didn't it come with a steel? Was there a steelbook with that? I can't remember. I think I bought it because there was a reason I bought it. It was because there was a steelbook, or because was there a steelbook? Usually, if there's a steelbook on the Nintendo store, I'll get it because those go ultra rare, like really fast. And I'm just a collector who hoards all this stuff. That's what it is. Okay, let me quick look at this chat. Not that one, the other chat. Mario DK says 300k first week is tops for 16. That's what I feel personally. Johannes, it would be great if it could reach more than 380,000, right? I just think with the data we have, I think it's pretty much impossible, to be honest with you. With the data we have available, I just don't think it's possible. We'll go into that in a little bit more if you like, in a bit. Game Killer says, I feel ya. It's definitely helping Square's bottom line in the long run. Yeah. The deals, I mean, Square Enix is notorious for making those deals. They make them with Sony, they make them with Nintendo. They have made them with Microsoft in the past, although I don't think recently they made one. The deals they've made recently with Microsoft, they've made Game Pass deals. So, for example, that game Outriders launched in Game Pass. From what I remember, it was launched in Game Pass, right? When it at launch it was available in Game Pass. Outriders. So that's a pretty big deal. They've had a number of games go into Game Pass that, older games that have already released have gone into Game Pass. They had a whole collection of Final Fantasy games, Dragon Quest 11, etc. went into Game Pass. So they've made the I know one they made recently. This is a smaller game. They made a deal for Power Wash Simulator. That's a Square Enix game. Power Wash Simulator. I think launched in Game Pass. If I'm not mistaken. I think that launched in Game Pass. So, don't listen to all this thing saying, oh, they've got a broken relationship with Square Enix and everything. No, well, how are they making all these deals then with Microsoft? Just saying, no, there's a relationship's broken. No, they had things that have been I'm pretty sure Power Wash Simulator was in Game Pass. Let's see. Mario DK says Kirby Deluxe is Jodie's Xenoblade. Mario DK, how does that even make sense? How is Kirby Deluxe my Xenoblade? What does that even mean? Jacob says the difference is that she hates Kirby. I don't hate Kirby. I love Kirby. Oh my god. I was the one that months ago you hear me banging on about Kirby Super Kirby Clash. I was banging on about that game, saying, oh, you should play the game, but buy the maximum gem apple tree, just buy it and just do it and just play the game, it's so good. I was banging on about that game for ages. Oh my god. Game Killer says, I was mainly talking about game performance. Okay. Game performance, not sales. Okay, well yeah, obviously it's gonna look better than 13. I mean, come on, that game. That game is very, very old. Game Killer. So obviously 16 is going to look better than 13. I mean, yeah, if that's what you're talking about, you said game performance, not sales with Final Fantasy 13. I don't know if you're comparing it with that or just comparing it with the sequel. I don't know. I can't remember what you said now. Sorry about that. In the Discord chat, Jago's popping off. Roche asks, hey, is Outriders still alive or it got shut down? So what I remember at the time is the developers of the game insisted it was not a live service game. They specifically said it's not a live service game. But it was an online multiplayer game that you needed to be connected online, even if you played it quote unquote single player. You needed to be logged in, I think, with a Square Enix account. And oh, Mousie's in. Mousie! Why didn't you tell me? She's in the waiting room. Come in. Mousie's here. Mousie, are you on lunch break? Mousie comes out of her mousy hole and comes on the show sometimes. I think she's on lunch break.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Mousie. Welcome.
Okay. Hey, it's my lunch break, so I've got to go to the library so I don't sound like a robot.
Oh, you're in the library?
I go outside the library because they usually have free Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay, got ya. Well, thanks for taking the time during your lunch break to join us for a little while. What would you like to say on these topics or some other topics or whatever?
I don't. I understand why Square made the deal, and you have to. We don't really know how long FF16 was actually in development, so I mean, or even so who's to say? And at the time period, there was a stock issue for a while, so
Yes.
you could tell yourself that. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I don't necessarily think that them making an exclusivity deal, like they were thinking they were condemning the game, like
Yeah,
that,
no, definitely not. I don't think so.
I don't know whether they realize like mid through this is a problem. I've also I don't know because this is all like anecdotal, but I have heard that because of the low supply of PS5s at one time period, those that did want to play the game in Japan decided to we'll try to go for a PC version.
For 16?
Yeah, for 16, because I remember there was that big stink about the fact that you couldn't get a PS5, and people who wanted to play it were upset because they wouldn't play it. And
that's true. Although I'll be honest, I think it was just a small vocal minority because
I still think it's a small minority, anyways, in Japan that want to play that particular version of Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah. I agree.
I mean, that's the thing. It's not. It looks more like an action game. I mean, it doesn't look like a. I mean, Jago's pretty notable for saying, Japanese action games are flashy, and it certainly looks like a Devil May Cry, and it certainly looks like that. I mean,
it looks identical pretty much to
right,
which is understandable because they got the combat designer to design the combat. So the combat designer from Devil May Cry 5 to design the combat for Final Fantasy 16. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think. I mean, as far as that goes, but I mean, as far as like whether or not, so it started in 2016. So yeah, in 2016, it would have been somewhere in the, still would have been somewhere in the realm of PS4.
Early stages. So yeah, PS4.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the PS4 in Japan at that time in 2016 was like, it must have been like a 30 to 40% market share at that time. So I don't think that they made that deal thinking that, oh yeah, like the market share of PlayStation is going to drop dramatically in Japan to the point that games are not even getting into the top 30. I don't think there's no way they could have predicted that. And they started development before the pandemic, before all the supply and all this stuff happened. And I think they would have made a deal right back then, at the beginning of development, most likely. There's no way Square Enix thought that was going to happen.
Well, and that's okay. So if we look back, so that's another thing that people have to remember. And I'm only going to throw this in for this part of the conversation. With some of the stuff that, like the Final Fantasies and stuff with Xbox and things like that. In 2016, the Wii U, there was no like idea of what the Switch was going to do. And the Wii U was doing better, obviously, but the Xbox One was doing worse.
Oh, okay.
Than the Series X
well, I see what you're saying. You're saying why did it was unnecessary because the other platforms are non-viable anyway.
Right. So,
that's a very good point. It's a very good point. The other platforms were non-viable anyway for a new Final Fantasy game. I agree with you. I think because even though it would have, if they hadn't made any deal with Sony, it would have been a de facto exclusive basically because the other platforms are non-viable. I think that basically if they were doing that anyway, but Sony was offering the money, why not just take the money? I think is the answer to that. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's free money. It's like, it's kind of like, so there was an exclusivity deal with Monster Hunter, but it was only for the Asian markets. Sony was the only one that had the Asian.
Which game was that? Which Monster Hunter game?
Monster Hunter World, Sony was offering them money if they would make the Japanese and the Asian languages exclusive on the PlayStation. And at the time period, well, why wouldn't they? I mean, it
Yeah, you said that
make
before.
sense.
So what do you mean? Like they wouldn't put certain languages in
So,
certain versions or something?
yeah, it, like when it launched, I don't know about now because of Rise and everything, but when it launched, World didn't have any of the Asian, like especially Japanese. It was only in the PlayStation version. So if you wanted to play it on a different platform besides PlayStation, you would have to play it in a different language besides Japanese.
The thing is, like, that is
Like-
such. Why make such a weirdly odd specific deal about just this region and that language is not on that? I mean, that seems weird to me.
Well, here's the thing.
How
So
would
Capcom
how would Capcom benefit from that? How would Sony benefit from
Then
that?
why would they lose? So they wouldn't benefit it. It's extra money, right? It's extra money, and it doesn't matter because the players in the Asian language, or at least we'll say Japan, there's no Xbox players there, so you're not losing out on any money, and it's extra money that you're taking for your product.
I see what you're saying. Well, first of all, Martin, you're gonna have to send me some evidence that this actually happened, right? Because I've never seen evidence
I
of,
can try,
of
but
this.
I mean, at the time period, it did. But the reason why you're questioning this is what would be the benefit? Well,
Because
the
it sounds
benefit
weird.
there- it's not weird because there's other like weird deals where they did that because Disgaea Switch did the same thing for the longest time period. So Disgaea 6 English language was locked to the Switch. Whereas the Japanese versions, there was a PlayStation version,
So the thing is that with
and
these
it was locked on the Switch for years.
with various
Yeah.
games, there's been other games, like not these games that where there's known deals, but there's been other games where there's certain languages that are locked and you can't, where they don't have
Certain
deals, where
versions, I
there's
should
certain
say.
versions
Certain-
where that happens anyway. Like for example, with Atlas games, they do this all the time, where they lock the
Yeah,
languages.
But this was specifically because they actually advertised Disgaea 6 as exclusively on Nintendo Switch, even though there was a PlayStation version
In
of
Japan,
Disgaea 6.
in Japan, there
No,
was.
in the United States. In Japan, there was an exclusive. In Japan, it was on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch.
You're breaking
in
up.
the States, West, it was only on the Switch. So yeah, these deals happen actually quite frequently. It's just we don't hear about them because they're so little. There was something else up.
Well,
with
I knew
one
it.
of the-
I did know about that one.
There was something up with the well, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so for instance, I'll give you another one. And I'm not saying this is exclusivity, but this is something that like the company specifically didn't allow. So Game Pass in Japan did not have Kingdom Hearts or the Final Fantasies.
I was aware of that, yeah, because
Yeah, so I'm
they
saying that
didn't
stuff
make the
happens
deal
all
to
the
have
time.
to have those ones in Japan. Yeah, I was aware of that.
Well, but see, here's the thing. You say they didn't make the deal, but I think they were in Korea and they were in other countries. So it's like, I don't think it's an oversight. I think it's specifically, there was other deals in place that would have, like, not with Sony, but because Square, at the time, the deal would have maybe been made. I think they had their own streaming service or were part of something else. Like, I can't remember. But anyways, my point here is, we are so off topic.
That's fine.
My point is like there's a lot of these little like things. So I can see why remind him, like people look at him like the bad guy, but at the time period, you know, the viability wouldn't have made, you know, because even in the West, the PlayStation was kicking the Xbox's butt
Yeah.
by a lot. So why worry about the sales by making it exclusive?
So you mean at the time when they made the deal for 16, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was a sensible deal to make, given all the information that we know, and about how. And this is, I don't know exactly, but I don't know if the sales of like Final Fantasy 15 were that spectacular on Xbox anyway. We only have data from a couple of regions, but like overall, Square Enix felt that they could forego. They felt that they could forego those Xbox sales in favor of a bag.
Right,
So,
but my point is that the Wii U wasn't doing very hot.
the Wii U was a complete flop. So I mean, there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was, as I've said before, like with certain games that when people say, well, why is this game only, or, why was this game only on PlayStation or something like that, or different thing? I'll say, well, because it's literally the only, for certain Japanese games at the time, it was the only viable platform. You got to think about when these games started development, when they were releasing, the time was releasing them, what the market looked like. Bearing that in mind, because Johannes was talking about this, and I couldn't remember the exact market share. Look, it's right here. What the market share? PlayStation 4 market share. If you look at the whole of the year's sales for 2016, it's 28% of the software sold was PlayStation 4. So 28% of the market in 2016. There is no way on this earth that when Square Enix made that deal, they thought that the PlayStation share in Japan was going to atrophy by that much. There's no way they imagined that. It's gone down by that much.
And that's, yeah, but I mean, like, you've got to imagine the amount of time that it takes for a lot of these games to be made and the turnaround time. Like, you can kind of see, like, I agree that they are L's, but I was going to say that the turnaround time and everything, and when they start the production, and then you have to imagine when COVID came in, well, I do think they're L's for the company. The question is, like, Foam Stars, when did they start development on that? Like, obviously it wasn't recent,
It was.
My biggest problem, though, is...
It would have been, like, probably, maybe 3 years ago or something when they started.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
So, like, my biggest problem with Square Enix is them chasing the games as a service. And
well,
the other
yeah,
thing I wanted
there's
to
that,
say
yeah.
is, so the thing I want to say about Foam Stars to me, so I know the issue is that people think Splatoon, so why put a Splatoon copy on the system that you can get Splatoon? But the thing is that an example of that I was going to bring up is, like, when you look at Pokemon clones, right? They sell best on Nintendo. So it's like not having a Switch version for a Splatoon clone is kind of, to me...
Well, yeah, it's dumb. You can just say, Mousy, just say it. It's dumb. Yeah. It's an L, right?
It's really dumb.
It's also dumb to not put the game on PC, to not put the game on mobile. It's straight up dumb. And even Xbox. It's dumb to not make a live service game like that multi-platform. It's a live service game.
No, exactly.
It's dumb.
Yeah, exactly. But the biggest thing is not having... I know it sounds like I say this a lot.
You're breaking up. Mousy's breaking up. She sounds like a robot. I can't hear you.
Am I okay? Okay?
Now, yeah.
Okay. So, I was going to say that the biggest thing that I was... the issue is like, I know I harp on that a lot, like I say that a lot, but even in the case of, like, like Farming Sims, how many Animal Crossing clones are there? But you guarantee they're going to sell best on the Switch. And it's like, that's the thing is, you're going to make a Splatoon clone. Do I still sound like a robot? Am I good?
No, you're fine. I'm just looking at sorry, I was just looking at the audio.
Oh, yeah.
In chat, does Mousy sound okay? Can you hear it okay? Yeah, so continue.
Yeah, I agree with Roche. The main issue is they haven't really tried to make anything different. They are just chasing trends. And, and that's such an issue with that. It's like I look at that and I think, you're going to make a clone of something, but you're not going to put it on the system that, probably it's going to sell better,
yes, I agree. They should have put this game, they've started this game, what, listen, there's some reasons that they want this game to do, they did want this game to do well in Japan. First of all, there's a PlayStation 4 version. They've made Sony's not making, you saw the live service games they announced, it was PC and PS5. There's no PlayStation 4 versions. So Square Enix is making a PlayStation 4 version of Foam Stars. You saw the game; it kind of looks like it could run on mobile. To be honest with you, but when they showed the gameplay, it doesn't look like a demanding game. So yes, could that game conceivably run on mobile? Could it conceivably run on Switch? Probably, maybe. Maybe. I'm
Oh,
saying,
it definitely
I'm
could.
saying maybe based on what it looked. It didn't look like the CGI trailer. We saw the game, so
Right,
to not. I mean, I think that game's gonna shut down within a year for not putting it on more platforms. It's the
Well,
same
yeah, of course it will.
nonsense they did with the Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale that they had only on. Like, it blows my mind. They made a Final Fantasy VII remake Battle Royale and only put it on mobile. Not even on PlayStation, where the game was in the first place. What the hell?
And that's
Square
the
Enix. It's L after L after L with Square Enix, man. It's just... I don't trust them with live service games.
Well, okay, so live service games, even if you were, like, they're kind of lightning in a bottle.
They
Trying
are.
to capture one of those is, like, very difficult. You know, and if you don't have the right elements to sort of, like, catch that lightning in a bottle, it's not going to happen. You know, I mean, there's certain, and a lot of the aspects, like, we can sit and make it, but it's like, if you look at Fortnite and Apex, they got both of those on everything they possibly could, and neither one of them is, they have a specific art style so that they can be on a lot of stuff. Like,
yeah. Well,
so
the mobile version of Apex, I think they shut that down, but yeah, there was a mobile version of Apex.
Did, but they got it on the Switch. That's
it's on
so
the
they
Switch
had an
as well,
alternative for
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, look, yeah, if
So,
you can put Apex Legends on the Switch and say what you want about it, but listen, it's EA that makes it, right? EA don't give two flying figs about how that game is running on the Switch. They're making money from it. It's irrelevant.
Listen,
right?
I played Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter.
Obviously,
they care about you. Remember this bit. Like, just because you look at a version of a game, you're like, well, that version isn't as good as that version. That does not matter on a business sense. The mobile version of Fortnite is not as good as the one you can play on a PC with a 400 series, card. Obviously, right? But there's still people that play that. There's a big audience for Fortnite on mobile, a very big audience, and there's a big audience for Fortnite. Fortnite's also on Switch, so yes, it's irrelevant. They're making money from it. Why are WB bending over backwards? Vinny's in the waiting room.
Vinny's in the waiting room.
Okay, let me bring him in. You think why is WB
too long, Diego.
Why is WB bending over backwards to put the new Mortal Kombat game on Switch? They're putting it on Switch, but they're not putting it on last gen consoles. They're not putting it on PS4. They're not putting it on Xbox One, but they're putting it on Switch. Now you think that seems nani? Why would they do that? Well,
there's money.
So the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 11 must have sold really, really well. And I think there's also microtransactions as well. Or there's like costumes or something. Or DLC characters and stuff like that, right? So
there's battle passes. There's a whole bunch.
But
you can play it based.
Okay.
Well, kind of. It's a season pass. So there's skins that you can buy separate, and then there's also what they call a combat pack, which comes with, like, for instance, the combat pack 2 came with they're big, they're not little. So combat pack 2 came with 3 new characters, and it came with extra story, like another 5 hours of story. So it's not I mean, there's a cost to it. It's not like it's like just microtransactions. There's actual like weight to some of the stuff that they have.
Okay, fair enough. So they have some kind of meaty DLC. They have the game's also a full price game. So yes, the reason why WB is bending over backwards to put the next Mortal Kombat game on the Switch is because the first one did really well. Now, it's like, well, if that can go on the Switch, they can make a version of that on Switch. Why couldn't they make Foam Stars for Switch? Well, Square Enix probably could have done, but they've taken a bag from Sony, clearly, because the game's only on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I think the PlayStation 4 version is because they want the game to do well in Japan. I think that's pretty much impossible unless they put the game... If they made a deal with Sony, okay, we can't put it on the Switch, put it on mobile, put it on PC. If they put that game on mobile for the Japanese audience, maybe it has a chance. But otherwise, no. It's DOA.
It's dead in the water.
Much. It's pretty much DOA. In Japan, I don't know about worldwide. No, it isn't. Like I said to you, I think Square Enix executives, they had goddamn yen signs in their eyes when they're seeing how much Splatoon sells in Japan. I think there's a cultural phenomenon over there. Look.
Yeah.
This is data for the Famitsu yearly top 100 2017. When did 2017. So Splatoon sold 1.7 million. Splatoon 2 in 2017.
So Jago thinks there wasn't a bag for foam stars. What do you think about that?
Oh, let's see. What does Jago say? Okay, so Jago is in the.
Jenny, are you there?
In the Discord chat.
Oh.
I don't think Sony's paid for foam stars. It's not on PC. Jago, I think they have. It's the game's only on PS4 and PS5. I think there's a deal or something. I can't prove that, but sorry, Mouse.
You know, they might. I was going to say they might have. Okay, so normally I would say I'm on the fence about that, but Sony has been trying to get more in the live service, obviously. So maybe they did pay for that, because I think we heard they had something like 10 live service games in development.
Yeah, but that doesn't include this foam stars. They just mean their own games that they're making.
Correct.
Sony's own games. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities if they're trying to develop 10 themselves, if they paid a small price to have Square try to develop one.
No, but it wouldn't. Even if they did, it wouldn't. It would be included in the figure they gave us. Even if they did. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't.
So here's the actual the. I looked at this, right? So here's the. I'm just looking at the website on the
Hey, Vinny, are you there?
Yeah, and look, you see here, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It's not like there's no PC. This is what it says. It's just, obviously it's registered to Square Enix, and then they're using the logo. So they're talking about the logo. I don't think Sony had anything to do with the
what
development.
If Sony isn't blocking the PC version, Jago? What if he says, why would they block the PC
No, they
version?
wouldn't, because there's been many games that have released on that we know that had deals that released on PlayStation and PC at the same time. For example, Forspoken, which is also Square Enix, was on PC at launch. So I don't know if that makes any sense, Jago. No, I know what Jago's saying. Jago's saying this is just Square Enix being dumb as you know what. This is just Square Enix being dumb. You just say it's a Square Enix L. Listen. I'm happy to say it's a Square Enix L. I think it's a Square Enix L, because why is Forspoken on PC? Forspoken was not a live service game. That was on PC at launch. This is the same goddamn publisher. They're making a live service game. Why is it only on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and not on PC at launch? It blows my mind that Square Enix could be that dumb. I didn't know. Yeah, well, Jago, I think it's because Square Enix is dumb. Yes, I think there was a bag, and Square Enix is dumb. I don't think Sony would block a PC version of this game. That makes no sense. It does not benefit Sony in any way to block a PC version of this game. You're not going to get more players on PlayStation by blocking a PC version of this game. It's not going to sell more. So I think this is Square Enix and their dumb business decisions. That's what I think it is. I don't think it's no benefit to Sony to block, because they haven't blocked other games that had a PC version of. I'm trying to think of what other ones. There's other Square Enix games that had a PC version at launch. Forspoken, one. Another one, didn't Valkyrie Elysium have a PC version at launch? That's another one, Square Enix game that had an exclusivity deal. Also Harvestella, that had an exclusivity deal with Nintendo, had a PC version at launch. Obviously that's Nintendo, but they will do. Square Enix does PC versions of their game at launch, even ones that have an exclusivity deal. So I don't think that makes any sense for they would have blocked the PC version. No, I think this is on Square Enix, and I think it's because Square Enix are dumb and they make L business decisions. It might be easy. I think it's easy to say, oh, it's Sony's fault. Sony's doing this. Sony's blocking. They're the big bad. No, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna give Square Enix a pass on this for their L decisions. And that's my opinion. But I think it's because Square Enix is just an L company. That's just what it is. Mario DK says, one mention of Kirby being a new game, she goes off. Like how bringing up Xenoblade gets, oh my god, gets those Xenoblade.
Oh no!
Listen, that's not it at all. At Mario DK, and Mario DK also says Square Enix could never guess PS5 sales would collapse this hard. No, there's no way. There's nobody predicted that. Nobody, but nobody looking at Japanese sales predicted that the sales of PlayStation were going to collapse, like literally collapse in Japan.
But
Nobody
Jody,
thought that was going to happen.
Jody, what do you think that is?
That the sales collapsed?
Okay, so let's talk about that. The attach rate of the software and the hardware. Why do you believe that the attach rate of the PS5 is so utterly abysmal?
Yeah, so I think it's not like just one reason. I think it's a number of things that contributed to something that was happening already. And I think the thing that was happening already, that was PlayStation was already declining in Japan. And we know that we've got the data on that it's been on the decline since like 2005 is when it's declined. It's never had a majority market share since then, since like 2005, like at the end of the PS2 type era, right? I think that was happening anyway. Then I think what happened was something that no one could have predicted, obviously the pandemic. And I think that really exasperated things because you had Sony made a decision at the time that instead of, because I think PlayStation 4 could have sold way more, like, you know, worldwide everywhere. It could have sold way more, but there at the time was limitations on how much stuff they could manufacture because there was less people that were, you know, they have to mine that stuff out of the ground they make the chips with, right? People weren't mining it, they weren't making the chips in the factories because you couldn't go into factories as much, or it had to be very limited amount of people in one building at a time. There's all sorts of limitations, which meant there was a worldwide chip shortage. And I think Sony had to make a decision: were they going to continue with the PlayStation, making more PlayStation 4s, or were they going to go all in on the PlayStation 5? And they chose the latter, as we know. And they decided to, you know, basically discontinue the PlayStation 4. So what that created is a situation where the PlayStation 5 was highly in demand worldwide because there were no PlayStation 4s anymore, or not brand new ones, right? You could get a used one obviously, but brand new ones stopped. So then further to that, Sony then I mean, you could say, you know, should they've made this decision or whatever, but they decided to prioritize certain markets, and the market they prioritized was North America, where they have fierce competition with Xbox because that's like their home ground basically. So they have fierce competition with Xbox, and they didn't want to make similar mistakes that they had made before, like with PlayStation 3 for example, and they didn't want to lose ground that they had gained since the PlayStation 4. And that meant they just highly deprioritized Japan. So we had from that time, from before then, from 2016 to now, a number of things that Sony has done that shows that they have completely deprioritized Japan. And they shut Japan studio, they moved the headquarters of PlayStation and other various things. So because they was already going down that road anyway, like deprioritizing Japan, and we know that they could have, for what they had available, say they had, for example, obviously it would, you know, it wouldn't necessarily be, but say they had 100,000 PlayStation 5s, like in a given week during the pandemic lockdown and stuff that was going on, right? So they only had 100,000 worldwide, right? They were basically deciding, right, we're sending 60,000 to North America, 40,000 to Europe, you know, and then, you know, maybe 10,000 if it was, and then just 10,000 to Japan or something like that.
You give Square Enix too much credit.
Who? I'm giving Square... How am I giving Square too much credit? I'm doing the opposite of that. What are you chatting about, Jago? I'm saying this is Square Enix. This is Square Enix L. I said it's their L to not put the game on PC and mobile. I said that's a goddamn L. To not put a live service... My God, how am I giving Square Enix credit? I am not giving Square Enix credit for nothing. I'll tell you that right now.
No, he's talking about Aileen. He said
Oh,
you
right,
you
okay.
aren't.
Okay.
Okay, I see now. Yeah, 'cause I was like
Relieved!
Yes,
Relieved! Oh, let's go. Jacob, I was going in. I had my boxing gloves on. I was going to knock you out.
I had to defend Taito from her.
Taito, listen, Taito's fine, right? I love Buster moves, right? But if there's an L to be, that is the square next L. That's what I'm saying. So continuing what I was saying about, I didn't even notice someone like the live chat that, yeah, sorry, I'm going to get to your chats in a second. It's just that Mousie's here right now on her lunch break, so I want to address what she's saying. So yeah, to continue, I don't think they thought that was going to happen. So you had a situation where there's a very limited amount of PlayStation 5s going into Japan. The PlayStation 5s that are going into Japan are region 3 as if with the rest of the world. In China, they are region... Vinimac had to... I don't know what's happened to Vinimac. Vinimac, I'm, not sure if he was having audio difficulties again. If you were, please at me or DM me, please, Vinimac. I'm not sure what was going on there. So in China, the PlayStation 5 launched a bit later in China. I can't remember when exactly. Jago's probably on the case. Jago probably tell me about 5 seconds. But it did launch there eventually, right? So the PlayStation 5s in China are region locked. There's only certain software approved by the government there, right? So there's a huge grey market in China for import. This is not just with PlayStation 5s, it's other products as well. It happened to the Switch as well. So there's a huge grey market, and I think that and I looked into this, there seems to be a huge amount of scalping that was going on at that time, and the price, both obviously within Japan there were scalpers that were reselling them within Japan, right, and people were buying from scalpers, but there was a huge amount that was being sold, and there's like a lot of evidence of this that we can see. It's not like conclusive, we don't have any numbers or any figures or anything at all, but it was happening. We know that it was happening. We don't know to what degree that was happening. So I think what happened was that was going on at the same time that PlayStation was already in decline, that Nintendo was on an up, just going up and up and up, with good software, and also a device that suited Japan and also coincidentally suited everyone else in the world. They managed to combine those things, and they managed to combine the portable and the home console market into one device that everyone in the world wanted, right? So they managed to do that and managed to come up with software that was, Pokemon and so on, that was also popular in Japan. Wait, what's that? You answer me a question. Let me quickly finish. At the same time as that, from 2016-ish PS3 era, that's a bit more, 2012 or something like that. Before anyway, maybe from 2010. Sony's just basically been shifting most of their focus to just Western games, Western studios aimed at the Western market. So then there was stuff that they were not making. Sony was not making first party aimed at Japan like they did before Japan Studio, which I believe was one of the purposes of Japan Studio, was to make software that appealed to Japan. But unfortunately that software wasn't selling that well, right? So they made the decision, they closed Japan Studio. And I think that happened as well as like third parties not really filling in the gap of stuff that would appeal to Japan. Additionally, with the Switch, and I have brought this up before, Nintendo with the Switch made hardware that was, let me say this, good enough for most developers in Japan, with the fact that it was the architecture was a mobile architecture that a lot of developers are familiar with, the fact that it supported widely available game engines and that sort of thing, and the specs are good enough for most AA developers in Japan, which is the majority of the market. There's not many game developers that are making games of the level of a Final Fantasy in Japan. Like 90 to 95% of the market is not like that. So they made a thing that was good enough. So a lot of developers started releasing all those AA games on Switch. Some of them were very late to the party, like Falcom, but they did eventually. Some, like Bandai Namco, just for whatever reason refuses to release certain games on Switch, or they release them late, right? But that's just their weirdo business decisions. So what happened if you have an option where, for the Japanese market, for a multi-platform game, because we're looking at all these multi-platform games, they just started selling way more on Switch. The Japanese audience does not care that it's a quote-unquote inferior version. They just don't care. They care that it's on the platform that they want. So I think what happened, because all of that market moved over to the Switch, it meant that a PlayStation 5 is then just like a niche luxury item for people that have the room for PlayStation 5 and have like, because there's also this issue with the TV. Not many people have like a completely giant TV in Japan, and it'll usually be like one TV per household. They don't have like tons of TVs like in North America, but there's a TV in every room and all of that. So it's that sort of thing. And then I think that just the number of PlayStation 5s is lower than what we think. I think the audience moved over, so they're not. Then the software just wasn't selling as well. I don't think it's all this thing where it's all digital and they're all subscribing to PS Plus. I think some of that's happening, obviously, because it's happening worldwide, but I don't think that's the answer, personally.
So Vinny asked a question. I'm going to piggyback on his question. He said, but that doesn't really explain why the hardware continues to climb every day. And then on that, do you think that we'll see a time where the hardware will drop now? Because it seems like we've got a 30K a week. It's like been what it's been. So you foresee a time where it's going to drop even more? And again, his question is, but that doesn't really explain why the hardware continues to climb every day.
Right. So the hardware at the beginning of this year, when the supply chains eased up, we had those like 80 to 90K weeks, and then since then it's dropped back down, right? And it hasn't outsold the Switch since then. But no, you're right. Continuing every week, we're seeing a PlayStation 5 is selling. How is it selling 38,000, 37,000 with no software managing the chart? In the lowest thing, they're not getting over 1,200, 1,300 units. I think it's because I think the true demand for, this is my opinion, right? You're asking for my opinion. I think that the true demand for a PlayStation 5 has been masked for ages by this scalping that was going on. Now the scalping, when I say scalping, I mean like a third party being involved. So a third party was buying PlayStation 5s and then reselling them. So I think because PlayStation 5s are widely available, and you just walk into a store and buy them or whatever, you no longer need to go through a third party to get them who was buying them up, because the price, that scalping price within Japan has collapsed, right? So I think what's happening is that people are just buying them directly. I think people, in China and some other places are able to just directly buy them from retailers in Japan or Taiwan or Hong Kong or wherever. They can just buy it directly without a third party. So I think some of these are being, what we're seeing selling every week, I think some of them are being exported. And then the reason why they're able to export them, they wouldn't be able to export them so easily if people in Japan were buying them up. So I think that the amount that actual people in Japan are buying is less than what you're seeing, because you can just walk into anywhere in Japan, and this is in the world, anywhere in the world, you can just walk into a store and just buy PlayStation 5 right now. They're available. And if you, from anecdotal reports that we've heard from people that live in Japan, you can see the PlayStation 5s in the shops. It's not like this, they're not on store shelves and whatever. You can just buy them. So you're saying that why is the hardware so high when this just the software isn't? that high, because I think just the true demand is, I think it's being masked. I think the true demand for these games, the PlayStation games and PlayStation 5 hardware, I think it has collapsed. I think it's gone into complete freefall. I think what happened, in my opinion, there was some tipping point that happened where most of the games that people wanted to play in Japan, as I said, the Switch is good enough for what most developers there are making. We've seen the type of games that are in the chart, right? You know, these otome games and visual novels and all of this, right? It's good enough for most developers there. I think it was just a tipping point where there was so much of the software that people in Japan wanted, plus all the Nintendo games, that they just all started buying all these multi-platform games. They started just buying, because you'll see it, there'll be multi-platform games, and then certain PlayStation version is like way down or sometimes doesn't chart. You know, like for example, this Taito game, was there a PlayStation version of that game? I don't know. This Bubble game, I don't know.
Good question.
Where there's, I don't even know. I just look at the chart. I have no idea whether there's a Buster Fellow Season 2. Was there a PlayStation version of that game? That game
so.
probably not, because most of these Otome games, a lot of them are just moved over to Switch only because the developers are tiny, right? So maybe they just don't have money to make a whole bunch of different versions.
They'll do PC and Switch, especially with the visual novels, the Tome games. Like they'll just do PC and Switch.
Right.
So they'll just, yeah. I mean, they did do, a lot of them did do Vita, but when they killed the Vita software, so, but from what I can see, I mean, this is visually, you'd have to get with KT Poison, because she...
Yeah, KT Poison on... We don't know KT Poison's gender, okay, so it's not... no, they might...
Yeah,
I think KT Poison might have put you...
For a while, but
it's fine,
it's fine. For a while, but you'd have to get with them, because they follow that.
Yeah.
I actually followed them from Gamatsu, because I used to post in Gamatsu with KT Poison all the time, and then when the install base opened, the two of us shifted over to that one. We just happened to do it pretty. So I followed KT Poison over to install base, so that's how I ended up there.
So KT Poison's right here on KT Poison. I do read KT Poison's posts.
So if you want to know, they'd be able to tell you more into...
so this is where I got the information. I did get the information to Buster Fellow from what KT Poison... Buster Fellows, from what KT Poison said, that it's sold like 19,000 or something. Or sorry, 17,000. So KT Poison is an install base member that is very... KT Poison has got them 2,000 install base bucks!
What?
I think KT Poison has never used their install base bucks. KT Poison has 2,000 install base bucks.
I've never used mine either.
Whatever. I'm not getting salty about it, because I don't even bet on everything. So maybe I'm getting salty.
Yeah, there isn't.
Whatever.
There isn't a PlayStation version of every Bubble Bobble every Bobble.
Okay, there isn't. Okay, so that's what's happening now. So a game like that, right? There's no PlayStation, but didn't even bother making one. So I'm talking about games like that, that are filling up the chart. So yeah, okay, there was no PlayStation version of that. What about these visual novels here? Did they make PlayStation versions of this? Sometimes they do. Sometimes we see they have a play. I don't know that one. How can we see whether that had a PlayStation version or not?
But you know, sometimes these are re-releases and they had a PlayStation version.
Oh yeah.
Very well.
You're right. So this one is a remaster, a HD remaster. What platform was that originally on? Was that a Vita game? It may have been a Vita game. That's a re-release. Princess Arthur for Nintendo Switch. Then the name implies that there was some other version before this, because it's called Princess Arthur for Nintendo Switch. So these are probably re-releases. Dranius. Yeah, I was right. That is a shoot 'em up. So some of these smaller releases, do they have PlayStation for Momotaro? We know that game has sold. Look, goddamn, it's 2.8 million. They didn't even bother making a PlayStation version of that game. But that's a Konami. So that game was just sold and sold and sold and sold and sold. I have no idea why these Momotaro games are so popular in Japan, but they are. So
Princess Arthur was a PSP game.
Oh, there we go. It's a PSP game. Thank you. So it's a PSP game, and they re-released it But did they make a PlayStation version of that game?
I don't think so.
I mean, sorry, I mean a PS4, PS5 version.
I don't think so. This is just the PSP remaster.
Okay, it's a PSP remaster. So yes, they even though it was originally on the PSP, I guess this is the sort of game that suits being on a portable platform, right? So
well, okay,
yeah.
so okay, this is I have no data for this. I only have what Nintendo has said, but Nintendo has come out and stated like they have a much larger female player base than I think PlayStation does. Now, I don't have any data to support that, so don't try me on that one. But
there is data available. We can see. I think Nintendo published some data about the
Nintendo did,
the split,
but PlayStation never has. And the problem
okay.
is
I've no
PlayStation
idea
hasn't.
then. I've no idea. I know certainly in Japan, from some data we have, right? So some that Nintendo published, and then there was that. Do you remember that big survey that was done like a year or two ago in Japan? And then you see the figures about like Splatoon players. It's like wasn't it like 60% female or something that play Splatoon?
Yeah.
And things like that. So yes.
Doug Bowser came out and said that the Switch Lite in the United States, they were actually seeing a larger number of females picking that up than guys. And then they went and they made some other comment about their player base. So based on their comments and the fact that Sony hasn't said anything, I'd say it's safe to say, at least in Japan, the Switch has a larger percentage of females than PlayStation, and it's an Otome game, so
it's the Otome. So the Otome audience is completely on Switch. I agree with you there. It's completely on Switch. They've just completely moved over. They used to be on Vita, obviously. They've just completely moved over. So I agree with you there. So then maybe that's in Japan
60-40, but the other one's like 90-10. Really?
Like,
but
we don't 90. I don't think it's 90-10. It's probably.
I'm just using it a huge just to. I also don't think it's 60-40, but I'm just using a big number to represent what I'm talking about. Like, I don't mean that it necessarily I don't think like it's 75% female on Switch, but I do think you have a large female audience there that may not be present on the PlayStation. Basically,
I know. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably about 50-50 on PlayStation. Like, because I don't know about Japan in particular, but when there's any like cover research or surveys or anything done in the world about like the split, the gender split on games, it's normally like 50-50. From what I've seen, it's not maybe back in the day.
Switch or PlayStation,
or just any platform. What they do,
right? No,
but I'm talking about maybe the data's a bit old, but I think in Japan, because this Otome audience is only on Switch, then yeah, maybe it does skew more female on Switch. But yeah, so you think that's the Otome audience isn't that big though? So I don't think that's. Oh, you're breaking up. Sorry, I can't, Mousy. Sorry, I really can't.
Sorry,
hear you.
I'm about to leave.
Okay.
I'm about to have to go, but I was gonna say I don't want to make any like claims that's gonna freak people out about numbers. I'm just saying for the small Otome group, I wouldn't be surprised if it's almost all on Switch.
I think it's I would say it is almost all on Switch. If you're interested in these sort of games, and most of them are it's got to the point, and most of them are only releasing on Switch. Even remasters of games that you said on PSP or Vita and everything, they're not releasing them on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. They're only putting them on Switch.
And on that note, I have to say bye-bye.
Okay.
We'll be back in chat.
Okay, thank you very much for joining me today, Mousy. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Pleasure as always.
As always. Bye, lady.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to catch up on these chats that we have. Okay, so let's look in the YouTube chat. Yeah, Square Enix had no idea that the PlayStation was going to collapse like that. No one did, to be honest. Nobody would have predicted that. But in this case, Square Enix gets money and Final Fantasy brand takes a hit within Japan, I believe. Yeah, but they get a bag. And they already decided to ditch Japan, so all they had to do was add. All they had was the West. Are you referring to Square Enix or I guess you mean Sony. Square Enix hasn't ditched Japan. Mario DK says, at this point it's not scalping, it's regular overseas shipping. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to Mousy. I think it's people just overseas. They don't need a third party anymore. They can directly go to the shops and buy it themselves. Johannes says, I'm back. I was having lunch. Welcome back, Johannes. Mario DK, software shows the true demand, always will. Angemani Sam, I kind of agree with you, Mario DK. I kind of do. I kind of think that's the true demand. I think like people saying weekly, oh the PlayStation 5's doing alright. Oh, it's doing better than PlayStation 4. I don't think it is, man. I just don't think the software wouldn't be this low. This is not explained away by digital. And if digital was just really high, why would developers like Nihon Falcom, which is a PlayStation stalwart developer that was just loyal to Sony, they was not getting any type of bag from Sony, they were just loyal to the Sony platforms, they just only wanted to do it on that platform. Even they had, if the digital sales were high, they wouldn't feel any incentive to move, because it's a big effort to start developing for another platform, which is they've done it now. If the sales were that good, why would they have done that? Why would other developers have to do that? I mean, the stubborn developers, right? Like the Falcoms that didn't want to move. Bandai Namco is a whole nother kettle of fish. Bandai Namco are just weird. So we're not going to get into that, but Mario DK says Square Enix takes short-term money in exchange for long-term damage to the Final Fantasy brand in Japan. But that's the point I'm trying to make, Mario DK. They've taken a bag. I don't think they took the bag thinking it was going to damage Final Fantasy brand in Japan, because I don't think they thought in their wildest dreams that PlayStation was going to collapse in Japan. They didn't think it was going to take a hit. Well, I take it back. I think they thought maybe there's going to be a small hit because of the direction of the game, the tone of the game they are targeting the West. So they probably did realise that it was going to be a small hit, but they probably thought it's going to be balanced out if they're doing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and all of this, right? So they probably thought it was going to balance out. I thought they thought the sales would have a small decline. I don't think they thought they would completely atrophy. So Game Killer says, I feel like Sony must have saw the future when they decided to focus on the West a few years ago. Consider how much Nintendo has taken over Japan. Sony, I don't think they thought Nintendo was going to take over Japan. I don't think they thought that was going to happen. Because when they don't forget, Sony started doing this way before the Switch. So they probably thought, well, Nintendo's probably always going to have a popular handheld in Japan. I don't think you saw the way it was before. The 3DS back in 2016 was like 45% of the market or something like that, right? I don't think that they thought they couldn't have predicted that Nintendo was going to combine their home console and portable divisions and just make one device. They probably thought Nintendo was going to continue making, maybe they was going to continue what they did before with just a completely separate home console or portable, or maybe they thought Nintendo was going to go third party. I do not think Sony thought that Nintendo was going to be 90% of the Japanese market. No, they didn't. There's no way they thought that was going to happen. They thought it's going to continue like as it is now, as it was back then, like 10 years ago or whatever. Let's look at the other chat. Oh, Kike! You can come and talk horse. Come. Kike can come and talk about this horse game. We're going to talk. We haven't even got 2 hours in. We're all 2 hours in. We haven't got into it. 2.5 hours. I need to go before. I need to do this before I lose my voice. So there's a lot of in the Discord chat, but I think they was all talking to each other. Elaine, did you have to leave? Bye, guys. I'm not sure if you're still here, but thanks for joining. If you had to leave. Oh, Kike's here. Kike, come in. Kike's gonna come and talk to me about this horse game. Okay, so you all saw the thumbnail. Let's get on to this. So this was announced yesterday on Twitter. Oh my god, I keep forgetting. I put them all. Look in there. I put them all in the.
On Twitter late at night. Oh no! Well, everybody was getting
Well,
ready.
no, they weren't. People weren't sleeping in Japan. I think it was. That's the reason. So here we go. Here's the. Where is this one? So here's the game. This was announced on Twitter. Oh no, I swear. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Ignore that. I don't have the tweet. The tweet. We were sleeping here. We were sleeping here. I woke up in the middle of the night because that's what happens. Let me get the actual tweet.
I just go
So
to
here's the
any of
tweet.
Nintendo.
This was the middle of the night because it was on Japanese time. I think that's the reason. So this was obviously tweeted out by all of Nintendo's social media accounts at the same time. So there's always going to be some region where it was not the ideal time, right? But I think they did this on Japanese time. So they announced this. Everybody's 1-2 Switch is coming to Nintendo Switch on this. Oh my god! On the 30th of June. Right. So that's like in 30 days, and there was an image here. Here's the. I guess this is the key art, the cover art, which. You know, it's quite funny in itself. On one side you've got people holding Joy-Cons, 5 people, and on the other side another 5 people holding up mobile phones in the air. So it looks like you can play either with your phone or a Joy-Con, and in the middle is horse or horse face. It's a person with a horse mask on, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So this is a sequel to a Switch launch game called 1-2 Switch. It's called Everybody 1-2 Switch. They announced it in the middle of the night with no trailer, no. There's one screenshot that I found on the actual
There's
eShop
one
page.
screenshot that doesn't show the game.
It's
Just-
one
just 2
screenshot,
people.
just 2 people, and so we look at that here now. You click this link, it goes. This is obviously the North American eShop, or the US eShop. The other thing is that the game is $29.99. So the original game, was it $50 US dollars? It wasn't 60, was it? It's 50. And at the time, people were like, "Oh, it's too expensive, and it should have been a pack-in and stuff like this." Because it was a tech demo for the. Sorry, I'm a bit gassy. It was a tech demo for the Switch, basically, for the Joy-Con technology that they had at the time. So there's only one screenshot, and this is this.
Yeah.
Normally when Nintendo has a game, they don't show only one screenshot, so that's weird in itself. And it's just 2 people like with the game. Now, if you remember what the original game looked like, it did kind of look like this with just people on the screen, and it was like you kind of did stuff, but you wasn't really looking at the screen that much, right? That's kind of how the game was. So they announced it, so everybody. First of all, the circumstances of the announcement made people suspicious. But what made people even more quote-unquote suspicious was that this game was leaked or rumoured like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I have the article here. This is from Imran Khan. Where's the link to Imran Khan? So yeah, this is from Imran. Oh no, I already had it open here. This is from Imran Khan at Fanbyte. Okay, who wrote this story a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. This is 7th of June 2022. This is when this story came out. And this is the wild story behind Nintendo's unannounced 1-2 Switch sequel. They're hiding it behind closed doors at Nintendo while the company figures out what to do with it. Okay? So, and Imran Khan nailed it, and you know that because when you got to notice this earlier, when you get to the end of the article, I'll read the bit in the middle, but at the end of the article it says here, near the end somewhere. Oh god, where is it? Where's that part? Hang on. Where's the part about the horse?
it should be there.
Oh my god. It play tested really, really bad. Oh, here it is. So it says the idea on paper was solid. Nintendo EPT Group 4 designed a host for the minigames based on international appeal. A bipedal horse that looked like a man wearing a rubber horse mask. Okay, this was written a year ago. The game's text simply referred to him as horse because it sounded close enough to the English word host. Or in Japanese, you'd probably pronounce it like horse or something like that. So that's probably why. That would come across in different languages, right? Many games would ask players to physically move around the environment for things like musical chairs or use their phone to play bingo. There was even a game that resembled a virtual version of Spin the Bottle that involves saying something nice about the other person. There's the kissing them, I guess. Because that would get really weird if you're playing that with your family. It tested horribly. So, yeah. So, Imran Khan said it was a bipedal horse that looked like a man wearing a rubber horse mask. Okay? And then we see the game, and that's exactly what it is. Horse. So that's why I put in the thumbnail, horse is Nintendo canon, because that was kind of suggested by Kike when we talked about it in the pre-show, that this horse is now Nintendo canon. So.
Yes, that is the best thing to come out of this.
Oh no, horse being canon. Oh no. Yeah, so that's why I put that there. Now, I called this game 1-2L. That's what I'm calling it, because to me it's an L game, but whatever. Vinnie Mac's like, oh no, it's good. Like, listen, I played like 1-2 Switch like once when it was like at a launch event or whatever. It's alright. It's a kind of party game type thing, but like it's not a game I would buy.
The best thing about that game was the ball game. That ball game is like the best thing to come out of that game.
Oh, so that's the one where you've got to guess how many balls are inside or not really inside the Joy-Con, but
yeah.
Vinnie Mac's coming back. Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac's like, Vinnie Mac says, how is this an L game? It's priced accordingly. So Vinnie Mac comes back. The 1-2 punch. How is it an L game? Vinnie Mac. Yes, no, it's a good point. It's they've priced it accordingly. Now I think the price kind of lowers people's expectations of what this game is maybe going to be. Whereas the first game, because it was so expensive, even though it wasn't $60, I think people expected more of it as a launch title as well. But because the only reason that game managed to, like, people weren't taking as much notice of it, and that's how it managed to sell 3.45 million, by the way. That's how much it sold. That's why there's a sequel, because it sold 3.45 million, and they probably made it on a shoestring budget. The only reason that game skirted people's attention because it launched at the same time as Breath of the Wild. What were people looking at? 1-2 stupid blasted Switch of Breath of the Wild. That's what happened. Sorry, continue, Kike.
Do you think... No, I was gonna say, so the ball game was the best game, because that was actually really impressive. Like, that was like the first time I was like, oh, this Rumble's different than normal Rumble. But I was gonna say, so yeah, it came out with Breath of the Wild. What game came out last month?
Exactly. So nobody was looking at 1-2 Switch. People did comment on the fact that it should have been a pack-in game. I remember people saying that it should have been a pack-in. It's too expensive. But it still managed to sell 3.45 million. But nobody was. If Switch had only launched with 1-2 Switch, then that would have been an issue. But Breath of the Wild came out, so then the Switch would have been a failure.
all the early articles that's like, oh, Nintendo's doomed, Nintendo is gonna fail again, like those articles might have had a point if it's just 1-2 Switch.
Exactly. But luckily it wasn't. I mean, it was basically just those two launch games and maybe Snipper Clips or something. And like there was a Bomberman game.
From Nintendo, those were the only two physical. Snipper Clips didn't have a physical release until way later.
At that time, it came way later. Yes, you're right. So
it was basically Zelda and that. So no.
No, sorry, I'm
Man,
here. I just had to.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, go on.
No, here's the thing. So I was watching a movie, and then the moment I come out, it was pretty late, and I saw the first thing I see when I open Twitter is this horse face, man.
Horse
So-
face.
And the moment I didn't see the title, I didn't see the title. I just saw the horse face, and my mind already went to the article that I. That
Oh,
I
you
read
remembered it from a
last
year
week. I'm
ago,
like,
the fanbar article. Yeah, Imran Khan was like, he nailed it. Like, so basically, because he said this
Dude.
thing about the horse with the rubber mask, I believe everything in this article.
yeah,
I believe the whole thing.
yeah, dude. No, man. If they showed anything else, but because that horse is like front and center, everybody knows. No,
Yeah, the horse is like
everybody knows what.
so clearly from the image, because as we just said, there isn't any screenshots, or it's one screenshot. So from the image, where's the thing I was just looking at just now? Where's it gone? The other one. Did I not have that open? Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought I had it open. Oh my god, did I close it? Oh, the pre-order page. I wanted to see the pre-order page. Yeah, sorry, I think I closed it. So because there's only two screenshots, but you look clearly, the horse face is in the center, so that's clearly the focus, and they're all looking at the horse. So that's clearly the focus of this. Now they did this. It's not in a direct. It's one of their Twitter directs. It's a Twitter drop, with no trailer, which is unusual because most of I swear, even their Twitter drop ones normally have a trailer.
They have a trailer or a video explaining it, because Ring Fit had like a video that was basically
Ring
explaining
Fit?
like, this is the Ring Con.
Ring Fit had a
Ring Fit,
direct.
yeah.
They had well, they didn't call it a direct. I think it was basically a direct, right?
Yeah, it was like a video. They said, "Hey, we are going to announce a game, but it's more for casual audiences."
Oh, okay, I remember
so
that.
They could,
Yeah, they did.
so that people could say like, "Hey, this is not it's not
Yeah,
something
yeah,
big.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
announcing a game." Yeah, but
Yeah,
it had
yeah,
like
yeah.
a video saying this is the Ring Con. This is the like they had a video so everybody could know what the game was about.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the article, we would have no idea what this game was about.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
idea.
So this
Other than it's
this tells us the fanboy article by Imran Khan tells us everything about this game and how it's a very long article, so I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing because my voice is not going to survive, unfortunately. But the article tells us that the game playtested extremely badly, and this did this 1-2 switch the sequel extremely badly, and basically that it seems like that maybe it was finished a long time. I don't know, but from what it sounds kind of like at the end of development when Imran Khan was writing this article, right? It seemed like that. But
he said that they were already printing the boxes and the cartridges.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, yeah, it was done. But something happened that made them retool it or something. Because it playtested badly, I think they worked on it again for like another year. So
we don't know if they worked on it more in between like the article and now.
True, but
we don't know.
I would assume they did just because Imran Khan's saying it's tested horribly. They didn't like it. They called it. Look, there's a word here, right? They called it horse S. I'm not gonna say the word. They called it during the localization process. Sources started calling the game Horse S as shorthand. I believe that.
No, I'm just wondering, like, how did it get like this far? Like, normally, if a game doesn't test well, that would be like early on, so they could start like fixing it before, but like, why did it still? Like, if they tested it like way after like that.
I want to read
That
this bit,
doesn't-
Kike, because maybe this tells you a bit about the playtesting process and what was going on here. It says when playtesting groups received the game, the feedback to the development team was brutal. The target audiences Nintendo was hoping to hit, families with children, found the games boring. Many didn't even want to play entire rounds. In the bingo example, one player would use a Joy-Con to mime digging out a number before reading it off the TV screen, a process that playtesters reported as tedious. They're saying it was crap. It was really bad. The main mode of the game, Team Battle Mode, which is clearly, we know now that it is a team. This is what they're promoting as being a team-based game with two teams against each other, right?
Yeah, everybody.
Pit
Everybody
at
wants to
least
see.
2 teams of players against each other in various minigames. This mode prominently featured Horse, who would give colour commentary during the games. That is what this is right here. Yeah.
Man, I was like, well, because here's the thing, because it has a horse, the game now has an identity.
Yeah, I
We
guess
have
the
a
first game
mascot for
didn't
this
have
series.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I give you like, there's people, there's just people, there's nothing to like. If I say want to switch, there's not a character, but this has a horse, so it has something. It has like. If they make a new Smash Brothers game, they could pull
Oh
horse.
my god, you're
They
right.
could-
Yeah.
They could put horse.
When they've put all sorts of other weirdo characters in Smash. I mean, not even as just like
Yeah.
the main like the fighters. They put them in as assist trophies and stuff like that too.
Yeah, so for me, it's way more appealing now because I'm like, what's this all about? But I know what the article was about, and
Well,
I'm seeing
Yeah.
no promotion, and it's half off, and that makes me think.
Well,
I don't
no,
know
but
if they.
we can't say half off, but they when Nintendo prices a game like that, because they did it with God, what's it called again? Not Joy-Con. The Game Builder Guard was cheaper. What else
Yeah,
was cheaper?
that was funny, but yeah.
WarioWare was like, how much was that? Or maybe that's $50.
I mean, back in the Wii days, there was Wii Play, which was basically a $50 game, but it included a Wii remote, and that's why everybody bought it.
Ah, okay, yeah. This one,
'Cause
they should have made these. They should have made 1-2 Switch include some Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that probably would have, but Joy-Cons are way too.
They could have made they could have made special Joy-Cons for it, like a special like
They
limited.
were not gonna do that for like $80.
Yeah, true. Maybe that's why. But what they could have done, you could have then priced it. How much a Joy-Con? You could have just priced it as the price of Joy-Cons plus $10. Then people would have bought it.
I would have made it softer, but yeah.
But I mean, because
Yeah,
they've
'cause
done
they
it,
didn't
so
know-
you use your phone, so then maybe you don't need to. God, this game looks so cheesy, by the way. Maybe you don't need to worry about everybody having a Joy-Con. They're in Joy-Con because you can use your phone as well.
They are releasing new Joy-Cons on the same day. So they definitely wanna.
Is it the
They
same
wanna
day?
pop up the 38.
Is it the same day? Oh, sorry, hang on. I've got
Oh, you're cutting out of my.
Sorry, Mousy. Oh, would you run that to me or I was trying to get you to your responses out, but your connection died. Are you saying that is that just a Vinnie Mac? Okay, sorry. I think they're talking. I thought they were talking to me. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry. Continue, Kika.
Oh yeah, they're releasing new Joy-Con colors that same day, so they definitely are making a move to get, like casual people who don't know about the internet and just look at horse. Like they're pricing it.
They're
and just
pricing
putting
this.
horse
They're
so that
pricing this as like
somebody's gonna buy this.
I think the price they're pricing it at is like impulse buy.
Yeah, yeah.
You just
yeah,
buy it
that-
because it's
exactly
cheap
that.
enough it's cheap enough to impulse buy it. I was like, oh look, this is a party game that we could play. You know, especially like families or just anybody, or say for example, I'm sure this would be popular like in a like a dormitory, you know, like college dormitory or something.
The article says that they were inspired by Jackbox, and that's basically
That's
like
what it looks
Jackbox
like.
in a
Yeah,
nutshell. Like,
it looks like
Yeah.
Jackbox. I play. By the way, I can't stand those Jackbox games. I've played it before. I was bored to death by them. I just don't. I don't. These sort of games. I just don't like these sort of games. I just really don't.
oh no,
no,
You're
I-
sounding like the PlayStationers from the game.
Oh my god, Jackbox is so. But I can't stand Jackbox. I've got friends who they just love those, and I'm just like, look, I'll watch you play it. I just don't find it fun. I don't find games like the make your own fun type of games fun. I don't find those type of games fun. That's just me personally. It has to be like a proper game, you know. Just what I would rather play. I'm sorry, everybody. I'd rather play that goddamn Animal Crossing. What was it called? The Amiibo Party.
Oh, the Wii U one.
I'd rather
Amiibo
play
Party?
that than goddamn what was it called again? We were just talking about it.
Jackbox Party.
Than Jackbox Party, yes, because that's a game. I don't like the make your own fun. Oh, make up this word and make up this, make up a little story. No, I don't want to make my own fun. That's the whole point of me playing the game, so I don't have to think up things. No. So I don't know if this game is exactly like that, because 1-2 Switch wasn't like that. It was like you had to do like little mini games sort of things, but you didn't have to make up your own stuff. So
Yeah, well,
maybe this isn't like
they
that.
can't.
but-
Yeah, because I don't think they already knew that they couldn't go with the tech demo approach again, because we're already like 6 years into the Switch. Like they can't do that again. So they were thinking of like, how do we make the sequel for a tech demo when we already demoed the tech? So they went with Jackbox.
Sorry, I just realised I'm muted. Wait, hold on. Where's that tweet? This is interesting. So, OJ's just the same what I'm saying. So this is OJ. If anyone knows OJ, he's, you know, quite popular Nintendo and RPG kind of YouTuber. I've followed him for years. But yeah, he's just tweeting out and saying what kind of thing that I've been saying. He's just saying, he's looked at the Japanese sales this week. It says it definitely seems like Japan has a scalping problem with PS5. People are going to the stores and buying the disc-based PS5 all over the digital PS5, but not buying any games. The PS5 games aren't even selling more than 1,000 units of retail. It's exactly the same thing I've been saying. So I think it's that. Like, there was a scalping problem. I think it's more the exporting now, because they don't need to go through a third party. And I think it's that combined with the other stuff that I explained to Matt. You know, I kind of went into it with Mousy. There was some other things I wanted. I don't even have time to do it because I'm starting to get, you know, we're at a 3-hour mark, so you know how it is, right? Yeah, there was some questions and stuff because people asked me. I might have to do like a bonus stream. People ask me questions and stuff on Twitter. But I can't always like sit down and do it. Like a thorough answer would take ages, so I'm not giving them a thorough answer. So I promised somebody I'd answer their question. But this relates to this does relate to. I kind of answered their question. But Kika, can you hold the fort for like just a couple of minutes, or 5 minutes maximum? I need to take a quick break. Will you be able to hold the fort for a minute?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't do Discord and YouTube at the same time because my internet is so broken.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You can.
I can read Discord if anybody has Discord, and I can talk about horse more.
Kike wants to talk about horse, so I will be back. I'm gonna put the beam up, but Kike's gonna talk to you for just 5 quick minutes. I'm gonna take a quick break. Thank you so much, Kike. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the fort a bit while I talk about horse. The host of the brand new Switch game. Everybody wants to Switch. the best thing to come out of that game. Like seriously, like if that game sells well, it's gonna be just because of horse and only horse. I have no idea. That's a good question I need to ask. Like, so the game comes out on the 30th, so that's like 28 days from now. Will they release a trailer from now until then? Will they show the game? Because if it's as bad as the article says, it's still, even after all the delays and everything that they wanted to see, like will they show the game? Like, I don't think they're gonna have previews for it. Like, I'm pretty sure they want to keep it like as low profile as possible. But if they don't show a trailer between now and then, like that's gonna be telling. But that game's legacy now revolves around horse for now and never. Let me see what else. The new Joy-Cons look good. I like the SpongeBob and Patrick colors. They're doing 2 pairs, which means it's $160 I gotta spend, so I gotta save up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I can't believe they announced it in the middle of the night for me. That's so weird. I hope at least one of the games is good. I know for Amiibo, we're talking about Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. One of the games was actually good, which was the campfire, the camping one. It was so good, in fact, they ported it to 3DS. So that is my hope, that at least one of the mini games is at least like a good time. If at least one of them is good, then maybe this game will be remembered. I just want horse to go on the Nintendo canon. I want references to horse. I want myths made of horse. I want horse to be a trophy or a sticker or a mention. I need horse to forever be part of the Nintendo canon. I cannot let horse die. I am willing to buy a copy if it means that horse will be sticking around. But I do mean that. Other than that, I know people are saying this doesn't mean we're gonna get a direct. I never thought we were gonna get a direct, but normally, if it's a casual game, they usually just announce it beforehand. So I don't think this makes it less or more likely there's gonna be a direct. But yeah, other than that, like I said, I can't go on YouTube currently, so I'm basically stuck on Twitter for now. What else? At this point, if anybody has any comments, you can let me know. Trying to see everything else. Yes, ma'am, it's the game. What game are they talking about on the chat? What's Jago? Paper Mario, Hyrule Warrior had trailers.
Back.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, I'm back at a good time. My favorite track's playing.
Yeah, I couldn't read the YouTube chat, so I was
you can't hear.
we had to talk.
Yo, hello. Oh, someone new just joined the Discord. Someone didn't I just say someone new joined or something? I swear I said that. Yes, Crux26. Welcome.
Yeah, I was talking about how even if the game turns out to be bad, I need horse to stick around.
Oh no!
I am willing to buy copies just a horse.
No!
Can be in another game.
No!
I need horse to be part of the Nintendo canon.
The horse in your life. There's other canon horses in Epona. She's like the most famous Nintendo horse.
Yeah, but now we need horse.
No! No, we don't!
I don't even know if it's gonna be voice or if it's just gonna be text.
Actually, yeah, we don't. No, we don't know. Does it say that in Marcon leak?
He said there's colored commentary, but I don't know if that's
That
just
means
like text
text
or like a voice actor's gonna voice.
So I didn't play 1, 2. Oh, I can't remember 1, 2. Did 1, 2 Switch have voice? It did have voices in it, didn't it?
Yeah, but it was like basically like start or finish or.
Oh,
go,
okay. There
or...
was not like actual, like
yeah,
you know, like lines or something. Okay,
yeah,
so
like Mario Party line.
Well, I'm guessing it's just going to be text or something then, because then you got to have all the different voice actors for all these different languages at that point, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is voiced. Maybe because I was when they said that, I was imagining it being voiced, but like a stupid, you know, exaggerated kind of host comedy voice or something like that.
Yeah.
But it might not be. It might just be text on the screen.
Yeah. So I need to leave, but I'm gonna ask the question I asked while you were gone.
Okay.
So the game's coming out in 28 days, right?
Right.
So from now until then, will they show a trailer?
Oh, they have to. There'll definitely be a trailer. They can't. They're not going to release. There's no way they're going to release a game without. I'm surprised there's a trailer ready. Oh, by the way, Vinnie Mac says it was voice acted with live people. He says it was voice acted. So yeah, maybe they will.
What?
Yeah, the first one.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it was, but I don't remember.
I don't remember. I
like,
played it once, like 6 years ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if they release a trailer. I'll see what the game is actually about, because we know about all these different kinds, but I actually want to see it. Like I want to see it with my eyes.
They will release a trailer. It might be like if the trailer's like super close to launch, like if they'll release. I think they'll release a trailer at least 1 week out.
Oh, the Tuesday before.
Yeah, but if it's like not until 1 week out, then you know this game is not great. But I mean, in that case, why not? It can't be like that bad, because they must have changed something, because otherwise, why not just cancel the game, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure Nintendo cancels games all. They cancelled I mean, what? They cancelled Metroid Prime 4, the first original one that was rumored to be developed by Bandai Namco. That was cancelled.
Yeah,
They probably spent way more money on that, because that game was like far into development. So yeah.
What was I gonna ask?
Okay, thank you for joining us today, Kika.
Yeah,
always fantastic having you on.
Yeah, I was gonna say if at least one of the mini games is decent, then maybe it'll be worth it.
Yeah, maybe you'll just wait when it's $10.
Yeah. Other than that, I just want horseback, man.
Oh my god, horse.
Okay, yeah. I'll see you around.
See you. Bye bye.
What
is this comment here? Square Enix looking at Final Fantasy 16 in Japan. Man, I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, OJ's not saying anything that I haven't already said, basically, but he has a lot more visibility than me, so he's putting that out there, like, oh, he's saying it's this scalping. I think there was a scalping problem. I think it's now, I think it's exporting. I think it's a combination of exporting and just people just not being interested in games. I think, like I said, I think there was a tipping point of just enough games that people in Japan were interested in, that most Japanese developers, the Switch is good enough for them, for what they want to make, for what they are making. There's all these otome games and all these visual novels and all of that. They don't need a PlayStation 5 for those sort of games, you know? They released them on mobile as well, some of them, so I think that's what it is. Now, I did have, oh my god, where is it? No, it's in my alerts. I did, because people asked me this question, so I had like oh my god, somebody asked me something. They said, oh, I think it's all PlayStation 5. This one, not that one. What was that person asking me the question? Sorry, someone asked me a question. Okay, so yeah, so this is the same person though. They said and I said I'll address this on the live stream. So let's just see what it says. So it says, hear me out. So that was talking about how the same thing, that all these PlayStation 5s are selling, but there's no software charting, right? Hear me out. What if all these PS5 owners are subscribing to PS Plus and catching up to PS4 games? PS4 didn't do well in Japan, but PS5 is. And that first thing is not correct, in my opinion. But so I think that's what's happening. Also, you yourself did a thread where PS5s from Japan are being outsourced to China, so that too. That's true. I did. So I just basically said PS Plus is available worldwide. There's no reason why that would only be happening in Japan. Then PS5 is doing worse than PS4 in Japan. ... If you mean just hardware, it's about the same. I've been a bit busy lately, but I can give you more thorough answer on my live stream show. So I did partly answer this before, but I wanted to go into it a little bit because I did say that I would answer this now. Like I said before, I think it's the scalping that happened before. The scalping, we don't know what percentage of PS5 units have been scalped, but it's some percentage that I think is probably a significant percentage, but I have no idea. I can't give you any figures or anything on that. And I think it's a combination of that and there being less games that people are interested in that would buy just the PlayStation 4. I think it's because the most of the Japanese games developers are like AA level, where the Switch is good enough for what they want to do. So, nearly all those games are releasing multi-platform, and so you've got the weight of all those games being there that most people in Japan want to play, plus the Nintendo games, plus Sony themselves not really making games for the Japanese audience, and then the big titles being few and far between. I think it was a tipping point where most people they moved over to Switch, and we saw there was just a collapse, literally a collapse of the PS4 sales collapsed, and then the PS5 software sales that were coming in were just not making up for that. It doesn't make any sense from one platform to the next, like within a year of each other, that the sales would collapse on one and the other one, like the digital rate isn't like that high. Now I do have this data. Where's the thing I had? This one. Not that. This. Not that. I haven't even got time to go into the top 1,000. What did I not bookmark this? Okay, I don't have what I need bookmarked. I could have sworn I bookmarked this. Okay, never mind. I have another source. I have another source right here. Wait, is here, isn't it? Okay, this is what I was looking for. So yeah, this might help to answer things a little bit. So here's the software. Software in Japan. I'm going to talk about this a little bit, but it's saying PS5 software sales at retail bad, but by how much? But how much bad? It says. So this was all made by Celine at Install Base, who has 2,000 install base bucks. Obviously, they've never used them. Give them to me. No, I'm joking, but give them to me, low-key. So they made this chart, and they made basically showing how high PlayStation 5 software sales would have to be in order to match these previous platforms. How high the digital rate would have to be. So on this chart, we have the Wii, PlayStation 3. Let me move this to the side. Wii, PlayStation 3, 3DS, PlayStation 3 to Wii U, PS4, Switch, and PlayStation 5, all launch aligned from their calendar years, right? Calendar year launch aligned is what this is, right? So Let's make that smaller. Oh my god. Okay, so you have here. The screen is off? What do you mean the screen? Oh no, what happened? Oh yeah, sorry. I'm a dummy. I didn't bring the screen back. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Mousy, for my dummy being a dummy. I dummy! I forgot to bring the screen back. Johannes says, no, I don't want horse eyes for the smash. No. Johannes also said, it was me. I just joined the Discord. So, oh, it's you, Johannes. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So yeah, apart from me being a dummy and not having the screen on, thank you, Mousy. I forgot I put the break thing on. Okay, so sorry. Here's what I was looking at. This is the data made by Selena install base. So here's packaged software sales in Japan. The source is Media Crate Top 1000 for the period 2009 to 2022 and Media Crate Top 500 for the period 2006 to 2008. They've all these different platforms have been calendar launch aligned, right? On there. So we can see a platform that failed, like the Wii U. So that light blue line here is the Wii U. That's the Wii U, right there. This yellow line is the PlayStation Vita software sales. This brown line here is the PS5, right? That's the PS5 right there. The orange is the PlayStation 3. That didn't do very well in Japan, so we know. But the green line is a PlayStation 4, right? Green line's a PlayStation 4. So, you know, already we've got things dropping. So yeah, green is PlayStation 4, and then brown is, no, sorry, that orange is PS3. So PS3 has way higher highs than, it eventually went a lot higher. Now we have to take digital into account, and that digital has risen as well. But to this degree, I don't think so. Not to that degree. So we have also, because we have also, see, I have to make this smaller so I can show you this zoomed out view. So the grey line is a 3DS, okay? That's the 3DS here. You know, having highs of like, you know, almost 25 million or something like that. This dark blue line here is a Switch, which is way higher than anything else. And that's now. This bit here is now. This is now. So, you know, explain that. Digital's higher now. That's the other thing. Digital's higher on PlayStation, but it's also higher on Switch. So, you know, there's that. Let's see, what did you say something in chat? Let me have a look. Oh yeah, screen is. Thank you for telling me. Oh god, I'm such a dummy. You was telling me that for several minutes. So that's the first thing, right? PlayStation's software's here. So we're going to look at that. Next. So Celine says, let's play a game. How high PS5 digital ratio must be in Japan so that PlayStation 5 software sales, physical plus digital, match just the physical software sales of previous consoles during the first 3 calendar years. Okay, got that? Right. So they've used the same data here, total physical sales for the first 3 calendar years, in parenthesis, PlayStation 5 digital ratio to match a past console physical software sales. And here's the sources. So here's the current PlayStation 5 software sales. That's total, that's everything that PlayStation 5 has sold since launch. Right, you've seen that? 2.5 million. That's everything. I'm trying to make this bigger. Hang on. That's everything that PlayStation 5 physical has sold. Now, how high would the digital have to be for PlayStation 5 for it to match the physical only of other part of past consoles? Right, so to match the Wii U, which was 5.5 million at this point, don't forget, after 3 calendar years, so at the same point, obviously the total of these platforms sold more than this, but this is up until the 3rd calendar year, as Celine said, right? So it would need to be 57.4% digital to match the Wii U at the same point. To match the PlayStation Vita, which sold 5.9 million in the first 3 calendar years, it would need to be 60% digital. To match the PlayStation 3, which is 7.8 million physical sales, it would need to have 69.7 digital. To match the PlayStation 4, which at this point in its life had 16.1 million physical sales, it would need to be 85.3% digital. To match the Wii, which had 26.4 million physical sales, it would need to be 91% digital. To match the Switch, which at this point, after 3 calendar years, had 37.6 physical sales, it would need to be 93.7% digital. And to match the 3DS, which had 47.2 million physical sales, it would need to be 95% digital. So can you see the issue here? We're saying that, well, digital's making up the difference. The digital rates would have to be absurdly high, and we know that the digital rates are not as high as this in Japan. Like, we know this. And I said before, if you look at the stores in Japan, they have whole giant ass PlayStations. We've gone through this before. If you look at Genki's got videos around the store. I'm sure other people make videos as well, but Genki's made a really recent one on his channel. There's one of the big electronic stores in Japan, and it's full of PlayStation games. So no, it's not all digital over there. Like, Xbox actually is all digital in Japan. The Xbox sections in Japan are tiny. So do I think everybody's subscribing to PS Plus to play old games? Like, they're buying brand new PlayStation 5s to play old PlayStation 4 games on PS Plus? No, I do not think that's happening. And as I said before, somebody on Installbase pointed this out, but when it comes to the percentage of people that are subscribed to the higher tiers, so that's premium and extra, right? Those are the ones that have the games, the library of games, right? From Sony's own figures, it's like 15% of people are even on those higher tiers. We don't know per region, but I don't think that Japan is like a unique situation where everyone is just subscribed to PlayStation Plus. That's absurd. I think that's absurd, personally. Well, that's my opinion on that. So I don't think that's happening. Now, the person that asked me this question may not be aware that this has been discussed to death in and people bring up this thing about, oh, this is subscribing to PS Plus to catch up on PS4 games. That's not happening. Moreover, the other thing that you have to consider is the second-hand market in Japan is large. So there's a very large second-hand market in Japan. So when people want to play old games, they're more likely to just buy second-hand copies than to subscribe to PS Plus, because they can get exactly what they want if they do it that way. PS Plus has a limited selection of games that just whatever's in there that you can play. People want to play stuff outside their subscription services, right? And yes, a number of these PlayStations got outsourced to China, and I have spoken about this before, or exported and so on. So I think that happened, and the true number of PlayStation 5s in Japan is lower than what we see. And I think that honestly, the software, as Mario DK said this earlier, that the software sales are showing the true demand in Japan. Because there's no, even if there was only one, say there was only 1 million PlayStation 5s with a disc drive in Japan, say there was only 1 million. You're trying to tell me out of that 1 million that not even like 1,300 games could sell that would chart? You know, that makes no sense. But yeah, I expect this to be the trend, and I you know, we have releases this week such as Street Fighter 5. No, sorry, not 5. 6. The sales of the Street Fighter games are very low in Japan anyway. It's not, Street Fighter isn't popular in Japan anymore at all. So Street Fighter 5 launched with 45,000 first week. I think Street Fighter 6 might get 30,000. And if I had to guess, what are the pre-orders of that? Might get 30,000. Mousy says, got a bounce, talk to you in regular Discord. Okay, Mousy, catch you later. I'm not going for much longer because I'm losing my voice, as you can hear. So I wanted to go over the top 1,000 and all of that, but I can show you the summary, but I can't go into detail because I can't keep the show going for that much longer. One sec. Dank Meme Center, welcome back. Why have you put a sort of crying, not crying emoji, but like, did you, I didn't even know you went, Dank. Welcome back, Dank. Okay. So what was I saying just now? I was trying to thought. Oh yeah, the pre-orders, Komeg. Let's have a look. Listen, I'm not getting into this thing about what it's actually called, right? It's like Kongu Net or something. I don't care. I'm calling it Komeg. Right. So let's have a look at this. Street Fighter 6 last day. What? It only had 7? Holy crap. Street Fighter 6 only had 7? Oh, good lord. That's not going to sell well. It's going to sell like 25,000 if that. That is... Ugh. But there's a PlayStation 4 version, right? Okay, no. Okay, so PlayStation 4 version, but that's only 5 points. So 12 points total. Yeah, it's going to sell like 30k or something. Probably. So that's the... So, okay, so that's... You don't know why Capcom's making these goddamn PlayStation 4 versions. That's why. Because they wanted to sell something in Japan. They were more than aware of the sales collapse in Japan. And Final Fantasy 16 is currently at 73 points with 21 days left. It's way, 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 way behind the other Final Fantasy, most recent Final Fantasy games, which is 7 Remake and 15. It's like way behind. So, yeah. Why was I talking about that again? Somebody asked. Oh god, I can't remember why I started saying that. But let's look for the last thing. Look at the... No, I thought I had gone through this before, but I didn't. But this is the... We got this a couple of weeks ago. Was it a couple of weeks ago? Something like that. Over a week ago. The Media Crate Top 1000 for the calendar year 2022. As you can see, this is when they run it from the 3rd of January 2022 to the 1st of January 2023. Yeah, you're saying why don't they do it from the 1st from exactly to the 1st of the 1st? Well, it's just the way that their calendar thing works out. So here is... Sorry, my phone's going off. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, let's never mind this. Sorry. Well, hang on. What? Are you attending class? Sorry. My sensei's messaging me about some classes. I'll have to message her in a minute. So here's the top 1,000. Obviously, we can't go through all 1,000 games. It's gonna take too long. You look at the top three game. The top game was Splatoon 3. Right? 3.8 million physical in last calendar year. That's a lot. And then it's like Pokemon Legends Arceus was number 2. Pokemon Scarlet and oh no, sorry. Media Crate actually separates them. So Pokemon Violet was number 3. 2 million. Pokemon Scarlet was number 4 with 1.2 million. Wow, Violet sold way more. Good lord. And then Kirby and the Forgotten Land, number 5, 1.2 million. Nintendo Switch Sports, number 6, 1 million. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, number 7 with 5 million. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Double Pack was number 8. Wait, hang on. What's the price for that? Oh, that was 665,000 for a double pack. Minecraft on the Switch was number 9 with 615,000. Number 10 was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 498,000. Okay, so that's the top. Now you have to get all the way to number 14 before you see a game on PlayStation, and that's the PS4 version of Elden Ring, which sold a total of 318,000. First week was 171,000. So yeah, not even that one sold. That SKU alone didn't outsell the Kirby game I was referring to, but when you put them both together, they did. And then, yeah, the PlayStation 5 version of Gran Turismo 7, which this was bundled, so that's why it kind of boosted up that game. So those are the top few games, okay? And here's the PlayStation 5 version of Elden Ring, just for completeness. That was 155,000, right? So, we can't go through all the games, but I want us to go and scroll down to the end of the top 1,000 list to have a look at the data summary. Wait, hang on, we'll get to. Oh man, this is a lot of data. When this data comes in, it's absolutely fascinating to go through it all, but I can't be doing that on the show. I do that in my own time. Xenoblade 300. Oh, you saw that, Jaco. Jaco, eagle-eyed Jaco! Jaco saw Xenoblade 300. Jaco, how did you spot that? I was going through really far. How did you see that? Nothing escapes Jaco's notice when it comes to Xenoblade. He's eagle-eyed. Yeah, it's 180,000 physical. Not bad. Xenoblade's not a giant franchise, obviously. So, anyway, scrolling down here, we're at the end of the chart. Gosh, it takes so much longer. Okay, so we're at the end. Here's the summary. So out of 1,000 games, right, that charted in the top 1,000, 582 of them were on the Switch. 289 of them were on the PlayStation 4. 123 were on the PlayStation 5. 5 were on the 3DS. So you think, well, how are there 5 3DS games? Well, there were. And 1 was on Xbox. And I think that was when Forza. Was that when Forza were charted? What is that Xbox game? I don't know. So altogether, out of the top, so this is going to tell you what percentage of sales, right? So the top 100 software sales, if you add that all together, it's 24.3 million, which is 82.37% of all the sales, right? So obviously the bulk of it is in the top 100, right? When you go to top 500, It's 28.3 million, 96%. That's leaked. So almost. So just look at the top 500. It's already 96% of the sales. So then look at the top 1,000. It goes to 98.7% of like the whole market or whatever, right? So there's the extra 500 after, you know, 500 to 1,000 only adds on 2% of the sales, right? So it's nothing. So anything that's like in this area, right, it's almost nothing. So you're talking about, look at the units. Look, this sold 2,000, you know. Sakuna sold 800. I mean, that game released a long time ago, but it sold 895. We're talking about that sort of thing, right? So yeah, let's go back down and look at the platform breakdown. So out of all the games, 270 new games, as it says here, 85.61% of all software sales were on the Switch in 2022. That's 25.2 million, right? PlayStation 4 was 9.27%. That's 2.7 million, 9.27% on the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 5 was 1.4 million here. So that's 4.97% was on the PlayStation 5. So altogether, the PlayStation's is obviously below 15%. Then you've got tiny. These are negligible. Obviously, the 3DS and the Xbox 3DS was 0.13%. Xbox was 0.01%. It has 2 games. Yeah, Xbox was if you want to know. So 3DS was 39,000. Xbox was 2,892 games total. As I said, Xbox is mainly digital in Japan, and the total of all games was 29,525,617. Okay. Now I don't know what this is, a budget software. So I guess it's like the, you know, new price version and all that version of games which they've put together here. I'm not going to go through that. New series software sales. I don't even know what that means. I think it means new IP. That new IP. Here's the per platform on each platform, and then the top selling publishers. I'm not going to go through all of that. It's too long. But if we look at just the top selling publishers, like of all the platforms, number 1 is Nintendo with 37.31%, and number 2 is a Pokemon company, 22.77%. It's only a few games, right? So they're having some games that are selling tons. Obviously it's Pokemon and so on, right? Splatoon, right? So that's most of everything. Next is Square Enix. Square Enix sold 1.9 million of software, but it's 36 new games. So yeah, but I know JT Blue, but Xbox is one because they don't release hardly any physical games in Japan. You know, it's almost all digital. Square Enix is number 3, but only has 6.67% of the market with 36 new games. So you know, like a whole bunch of those games flopped, right? So anyway, and then this is VR and stuff. It's got VR in here, I guess. I guess there was some sales of VR, and then this chart. I'm not sure what this shows. Was this VR chart? I think this chart is VR. I guess because it's attached to that. And then the hardware. So obviously this is where things get interesting, because in calendar year 2022, the Switch sold a total of 4,420,035. The PS5 sold 1.1 1,189,927. Xbox 122,000, PS4 39,000. Alright? And out of those PlayStation 5s that sold, over 1 million of them are just the disc version. But then you've seen how slow the software sales are. And you've seen how stuff's not adding up. It's not adding up. This is the market and the value, how things have changed over the years. It's a good, useful chart. Oh god, I can't. It's almost either ginormous or it's tiny. The hell? Well, anyway, there you go. You can see the market was dipped right down here. It's like going down, 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 down. And then it starts going back up again. In 2017. Up, up, up. Down a bit there, and up, up, up. So it has some dips down, but gradually recovering, right? So I think what happened here, the Wii U not doing well, and then coupled to the collapse of PlayStation is what happened, is what I think. In these years here. So yeah, let's have a look. Have you made any comments? Yeah, Xenoblade was actually 179 something thousand. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then Xenoblade skewed very heavily digital because of the voucher scheme. J2 Bliss says Comic gonna comic. What does that mean? Thank Meme Center, no worries, haha. Thank you, Thank you for coming out, thank you for modding. J2 Bliss says I missed most of the stream. Oh no, I was busy at work. Oh no worries, it's all on the VOD. You can even just wind back the things. It's like a DVR, you can just wind it back. So yeah. Thank Meme says the 3DS still kicking. Yeah, I don't know how, like, but Media Crate and Famitsu both still track the 3DS when they stopped making games for it years ago. So I have no idea why, but they are. So that's the top 1,000 summary. So there you go. The other summary, I don't know if I've really got time to do that now because I'm at the end of my limits. Mousy would definitely tell me off, but she's not here. Ha ha ha. Mousy's not here. She doesn't know what to do it. But we've been live for 3 hours and 37 minutes, so we're gonna end. Oh. I covered most of the topics except for the Famitsu report 2022. I'll cover that next week. I'll cover it next week. Let's see here. Yeah, so I think I've caught up in all the comments as well. Once again, welcome Crux. Crux is Johannes. Crux, do you mind if I change your name on Discord to Johannes? Or what I did with Kika, I just put like their name, or you can change it yourself, just so I remember who you are. Yeah, Crux is Johannes. Welcome. Welcome, Johannes. How did you find the show, by the way, Johannes? How did you? Was you the person I spoke to before who said they heard me on Spencer's show? Or was that someone else? I can't even remember. Somebody said that. But yeah, I was on his show a long time ago, talking about Soul Hackers 2. Soul Hackers L. We call it Soul Hackers L, because that game flopped. Why does that happen? Yeah, so I think we covered most of the stuff. Pretty much. Another good show. Thank you for everyone that was able to join me today. Thank you for Kike for coming into chat. Mousy came into chat. I think Vinnie Mac wanted to or tried to, but I don't know what Vinnie Mac. I don't know what happened, if that was a technical thing or you just was unable to talk. So let me know, because you have been. Vinnie Mac's been typing in the thing. Did you tell me? I don't think you did tell me what happened. You didn't say what happened. So please let me know if it's a technical thing. Then I don't know. Whenever these things happen, the technical things, like I'll try my best. I don't know exactly what the issue is. Johannes says thank you. Johannes, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please tell me, because I have no idea how to pronounce your name. I'm just guessing. Johannes says, by the way, you can change my name in Discord if you like. I saw the link here in the stream chat. Yes, that's where we have the Streamlabs bot, because it saves me having to keep typing. It periodically, I will make it so it doesn't do it as often. Right? I know it's kind of often at the moment, but it will periodically put the Discord link so you can call in. But yeah, I'm going to adjust that and change some things around. But how did you find the stream in the first place, Johannes? That's what I want to know. That's what I'd like to know. I'd like to know how you. So Soul L Hacker. So it's like Soul, but with the L is capital. I wonder why the L is capitalized. Soul L Hackers. Soul Hackers L. Yes, it was a flop. That's why I don't think there will be a Switch port of that game, because I think it flopped so hard that they probably don't think it's not worth it. Because I think there would have been a port by now if they were going to port that. Yeah. Oh, that's just a wave. See, and that it alerts me when there's like a wave. But yeah, let's get to the end of the show. So thank you everyone that joined us today. Mario DK, Thank Meme Center, J2, Johannes, Game Killer 64 was here. Jago was here. I think Jago's still here, probably lurking. Thank you, Jago, for coming through some of those information. Roche was here. We had Rolucci, who was in the pre-show earlier. I'm not sure if they're able to make the main show or not. Streamlabs was here. Thank you, Streamlabs. If I've missed anyone, I apologise. I'm just trying to look through the chat and see who was here earlier, but I think that's nearly everyone. Obviously Dank, and yeah, thanks to everyone coming through and making the show great, because obviously I couldn't do it without all of you. But we're going to end now. Mousy's not here, but Mousy will definitely tell me off for streaming for 4 hours plus the pre-show, which was like another hour. So this is why I have to kind of end. Johannes, I think Johannes's typing is going to tell me how to pronounce their name. Johannes, please tell me. I can see you typing something, then it stopped. Please tell me. Let's finish on this. Yeah. I'm sorry, but this track is such a goddamn banger. It's a goddamn banger. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, Johannes, you message me or type in the chat or at me about how to pronounce your name correctly, so I'll make sure that I pronounce your name correctly. But yeah, thank you so much everyone. Catch me on Twitter. I'm at JoDD. I obviously put stuff there from time to time. Not as active on Twitter as I was before, because that whole goddamn website is going to hell in a handbasket. But yeah, I'll always be on the Discord. I've started being a bit more active in Discord stuff. So for our little chats and things, I think that we got like a little kind of community going in Discord, and hopefully I'll do be able to do another bonus stream. You know, we do another community stream where everyone can just hop in and chat. But for this week, thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye. Oh, where's the thing to end? Oh my god, I can't even find the goddamn thing to end the goddamn stream. That's L. I can't let it in the stream. Okay, now I'm ending from